Low. Tuesday, sunny and cold, 35. Wednesday, sunny and 45 for the New Year's Eve. It's cold, 27 degrees, but quiet. New Year's Day, partly sunny and 39. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Don't freeze as it gets colder. If your furnace isn't working, Air Comfort Service can get you back in your comfort zone fast with a service call for only $99. Get your furnace serviced. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ring.
That's us, that's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Here we are. It's the week of New Year. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Annie Fry for the next few days. And I got to say, it's very cold here where I'm at in Detroit, and I just heard the forecast from Dave Murray. It is also cold. What, in the upper 20s? Is that what your high is today in St. Louis? Not fantastic. But I will say up here we're getting these snow squalls, and it is really disrupting people's lives. So what can you do? Ethan, happy New Year, Merry Christmas to you. I haven't spoke to you in a long time.
I know it's good to have you back on, Ryan, and a happy New Year to you as well. Did you have a good Christmas?
I did. I had two bad things happen, and
Uh-oh.
mostly good things, but two bad things. I'll tell you about that in a second. I saw
Okay.
we have a YouTube live chat poll up. So yes, we are live streaming. If you wanted to go watch that video, and the YouTube live chat poll is: do you think that a peace deal will occur between Ukraine and Russia? Couple options for you. Yes, in the next month. Yes, during Trump's term. Yes, 2026, or no. So you have a couple of different options for you, and we'd like for you to go vote in the YouTube chat poll. All right, do you want to know the two bad things that happened first?
I would love
I'll
to
let you
know
know.
the two bad things that happened to you during Christmas time.
So one, Christmas Eve, our dog, 9-year-old dog, sprained her tail.
What?
Poor little puppy. Did you know if you're overly happy, you can sprain your tail?
I didn't know that. How does that work? How does one sprain a tail?
Well, yeah, there's like it's bones and muscles and
Uh-huh.
stuff back there. So she was just wagging her tail, and all the family was there, and she was having the time of her life. And then she must have just, kind of like when you're getting old, and well, you wouldn't know this because you're not there yet. But
Mhm.
when you get to my age, you young whippersnapper, you can just like look the wrong way, and it'll mess your neck up for the rest of the day. And same with dogs. If you're wagging your tail and it's going crazy, and next thing you know, there's a little bump on the tail, and you sprained it. It's
So it was
swollen.
too excessive of a wag, is what I'm hearing.
Yep. Too
Mm.
excessive of a wag. That's what we believe happened.
And how do you know that that it was sprained? Like, what made you think that something was wrong?
Right. Okay, so she was acting different. You can tell she was like something was wrong. She's
Little
not
gingerly.
happy anymore. Yeah. And the next thing you know, she's very, protective, and she's kind of laying around by herself. She doesn't want to be around people, which is different than how she normally acts. And I see the bump on her tail. So we do the Google search, and the Google search says, yes, this happens to dogs. They sprain their tail. She recovered. It took her a couple of days to get back to normal, but she's fine now, and she's not protective of her tail. You know what else happened? Another thing. I don't know how old you are, Ethan, but I'm telling you, don't get older because nothing good comes from it.
Mm.
So, Christmas morning, got my kids in their matching pajamas. We got the in-laws that stayed at our house. They wanted to wake up and enjoy the presents for the kids the morning of. And, I'm making the bacon, and I'm doing this. We're getting the breakfast ready. Kids are still nestled and dreaming of sugar plums and such. So they wake up, and I'm not feeling good. I immediately thought maybe I didn't drink enough water the day before. Maybe I'm dehydrated. But it wasn't just my head. It was my stomach, too. Started throwing up the morning of Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Threw up twice.
wait, of Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Christmas. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Christmas. Yeah. It's at Thanksgiving. So Christmas morning, all of these things are happening. And, at first I thought, it's just my headache. I'll eat a couple of these sweet Hawaiian rolls and, get something in the stomach, maybe take a Tylenol. Well, that didn't work because it just came up. And then I was like, I better not eat anything. Whatever I had left came up again from the night before. And I'm like, this ain't great. So it took me, for the most part, all the morning to recover. And by the afternoon, I felt better and I felt good enough where I took a Tylenol and, that seemed to work out. Well, as it turns out, my wife was curious if I was dying. So she did the Google search again and she found out I have migraines. And I said, wait, what do you mean migraines? I don't get migraines. And she said, this happens to you like 3 times a year where you wake up, you feel this way. It doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't feel this way. And, and you recover by the afternoon. She's like, this is migraines. So I found out Christmas Day, I suffer from migraines once in a while. Didn't know that either.
What the heck? You are getting old.
Back hurts, knees hurt. Everything hurts, man. You wake up, or you look around you, and everything's changed. Everyone looks older. You're fatter. That's another thing, too. You put on weight for no reason whatsoever. You start throwing up for no reason. You're dehydrated. You're worried about your ankles. everything is different the older you get.
You spraining your tail?
I sprained my tail. My little tailbone, too. Out of sympathy for my dog, sprained my tail. So that was my Christmas. So I'm guessing you wore pajamas and you went back to your, parents or something and ran down the stairs and opened up your stocking with care.
Yep, all those things did occur. We get new Christmas pajamas every year in my house. It's the one time of year that I wear the Christmas pajamas. So I've been telling my mom the last couple of years, you don't need to. I can just I could wear a different pair of Christmas pajamas for the next 10 years and without having to buy a new one. That's how many just like Christmas pajamas I have now. So this was the first year where Mom didn't buy me a new pair, which I was so thankful for because the girls still do their, we're going to get the pictures and the matching pajamas, and they like that. That's fine. But they were going to buy this family set this year, and they were silk. We've never done silk before. I can't say that I'm a silk pajama kind of guy. They were the button-ups. They were green and red, but they were majority green. And even my wife was like, I don't know how I feel about these. And I was kind of like laughing at her like, well, have fun wearing those, sucker. And she was like, well, these are family set. Like, they want all of us to wear these. And the conversation changed very quickly. I immediately called my mother and was like, Mom, I have a reputation I'm trying to build. And my mom's a Facebook poster. She loves posting on Facebook. And I made it very clear, Mom, if you want to post on Facebook, I will not be wearing these pajamas. And so I broke the cycle this year of the new pajamas every year. So we did. I just wore ones that I had from the past, and Dad still had the same pajamas that I had because we've been getting the same ones for 10 freaking years. But there was a cycle that was broken at this Christmas, and I call it a victory for the men in the Hannaford household.
How did your wife? You said play along with that because my wife, if my dad said, hey, we have matching clothes to wear, she would be out in a second. She wouldn't even entertain the idea. That's not possible. How do you get her to comply with requests like that?
She was fine with the matching PJs. Just, girls have very specific styles with PJs, and my wife isn't. My sisters love the silk PJs. My wife isn't as big of a fan of the silk PJs, so it's kind of one of those like, all right, you just got to suck it up. You deal with it. You do it. So she was fine with that, but she was very entertained by my heavy pushback against the silk PJs and how much I didn't want to wear those. So I think that she would tell you that she is 100% willing to, deal with a pair of PJs that maybe aren't her favorite, especially if she has to see me gripe and complain and throw a fit about not wanting to wear them.
Yeah, well, that's not. I think about myself and the things I wear around the house. I'm probably like every other guy. You wear the same clothes until they disintegrate. And socks, underwear, tops, bottoms, whatever it is, the hole's got to be pretty big for you to replace it, right? We're not talking these little tiny holes. No, you got to get something of significance on these things to replace it. So I wear the same stuff until it's essentially so thin that it's toilet paper thin, and you can see too much skin through the holes. That's when it gets replaced. I don't think I've ever actually had a dedicated pair of pajamas. I've always worn junky clothes around the house, sweatpants, flannel top, shirt underneath, socks, whatever. It mix and match. But I don't think I've ever had a dedicated pair of pajamas. And there you are as a whole family coordinating these things. I should have guessed. You seem very organized that way. I would put that on your resume if I were you, Ethan. I would say
this is not me. This is the women of the Hannaford household. I have just learned, in most cases, it's easier to just do what you are told than fight it. As I've gotten older,
Smart man.
I used to fight it. I don't really fight it anymore, in most cases. But you will never see me wearing silk pajamas. That will never happen
for now.
Ryan Recker.
Well, no, you shouldn't have said that. If they hear this, your mom catches wind that you're now challenging her, she's going to withhold, like, okay, sure, you're not going to wear it, but you're also not going to be here next time I have this Thanksgiving meal. Or she'll withhold something big until you have to give in. Honestly, what's going on here is basically what's going on between Ukraine and Russia. So
nice,
there's gonna be
nice
a standoff
segue.
here.
That was real nice.
There's going to be a standoff.
This is why you're here.
And the pajamas are going to be the non-negotiable thing. You have Putin in Ukraine, and Ukraine, some don't want to give up land. That's you in the pajamas. I don't want to give up these pajamas, your mom. And that's what's going to happen. Did you see the breaking news story just a half hour or so ago? And it sounds like Russia says they believe Ukraine's tried to strike Putin's residence in the middle of these peace talks. You think Ryan Schmelz is on top of that story? Are we going to be able to talk to him this hour?
I'm sure that he is, and yes, he's going to be joining us here in just a couple minutes on the other side of this break.
I know, and a big part of it is what's happening down in Mar-a-Lago. 95% sure that they're, well, not 95% sure, about 95% there when it comes to a peace deal. That's a pretty big progress report. So we'll talk to Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio coming up. He's on Capitol Hill and a White House correspondent, so he's following this one pretty closely. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Andy Fry, 97.1 FM Talk.
Okay, we've got the chips, the fancy cheese, the sparkling cider. Oh, and I need to fill up the tank on the way home.
Look at the cart. We haven't even hit midnight yet, and you're already blowing your save money resolution for next year.
I'm not blowing it. I'm being smart. I'm using Upside.
Upside? That cash back app?
Exactly. I just claimed an offer, and just like that, I'm getting cash back on all these groceries. And I'll do the same at the gas station. It's how I earned an extra $250 this year.
Wait, $250?
Yep, that's extra cash I can cash out to my bank or throw onto gift cards to my favorite spots.
Download the free Upside app and start earning cash back now. Use promo code POP for a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase. That's promo code POP. Make your resolution easy this year. Download the free Upside app today and use promo code POP for an extra $10 bonus on your first purchase.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings, up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. This is the Annie Fry Show.
And welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Annie Fry. Joining us now is Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill, and White House correspondent. Ryan, Happy New Year to you.
Good New Year, Ryan. How are you?
Good. There's been a lot of talk, of course, between Russia and Ukraine right now, and I know that happened in Mar-a-Lago, but I just saw the most recent report that came out, and I know Fox News put it out there regarding looks like Putin says, hey, my place was targeted in the midst of these peace talks. That's not cool. Russia, not happy about that. Ukraine came out and said, hey, not us. That's a big lie. Seems like the 95 percentile estimation might have been a little bit, I don't know, exaggerated if that's where they're at right now.
Well, the 95% in terms of the agreement that they've been talking about so far, you got to keep in mind that is part of what the United States, Europe, and Zelensky and the Ukrainians have agreed to. Whether or not Russia's going to agree to that, I think that's a whole other story. But the land dispute's going to be the big thing, and whether or not they can come to some type of agreement on it, we're still waiting to see.
Yeah, but, it's nice to see these events happening with progress. It sounds like President Trump complimented other countries for their involvement in all of this. And if this is an indication of where Russia stands, maybe you're right. This is going to be a tough sell for them. Of all people to try to get this done, it seems like Donald Trump's the guy if it was going to happen.
Donald Trump campaigned on getting the war to an end and being able to have the tough conversations with the Ukrainians and being willing to talk to the Russians about pulling out of Ukraine. And then you also have, the fact that he campaigned and said the same things about ending the war in Gaza. And, actually right now, I believe he's having a meeting with Netanyahu trying to come to some type of conclusion on that. And, he was touted a victory with getting the hostages back too. So, this was going to be a Herculean task. And, he campaigned on having a good relationship with Putin, and that certainly was, probably the case during his first term. But, he's definitely soured on Putin in many ways too since the start of his second administration. And, that's kind of the reality of dealing with a situation where Putin's actually actively trying to take a territory, which was not the case during the first Trump administration.
Mm-hmm. For you as a person, you're like, okay, it's Christmas, it's New Year, things should be a little bit quieter. But, man, there's a lot of news happening at the end of this year. Normally, this is where it's a dead zone when it comes to news. But here you are covering all kinds of things.
Yeah. No, we had two big stories happen during Christmas Day period. You had the talk between Zelensky, Steve Witkoff, the special envoy to President Trump, and then his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. The three of them had a phone or a virtual meeting on Christmas Day, and then you also had the bombing of I believe it was like a nuclear facility or an oil refinery in I believe it was Nigeria. So you had plenty of news that was still happening on Christmas Day, and the funny story was there were reporters who had kind of wrapped up their day for Christmas and were getting ready to actually go about doing their Christmas life. Then it's like, oh, I've got to run back into the office to do the nightly news now because we've got something major happening.
I know, nonstop. You can't even get a day off, it seems like. What happens, I'm curious, in your own personal life, when breaking news happens, does your phone just start vibrating nonstop and you have to jump into action?
Sometimes. I mean, with this news cycle, there's breaking news happening every 5 seconds. So it's just kind of been like, okay, you're off. And, you just got to accept that there's some things we're not going to be able to get to and other things that, we have to cover. And that's kind of, I think, the challenge for a lot of newsrooms. But, there's people who get paid more money than me to make those decisions at the top of our network. So there's that. Yeah.
Well, with these peace deals and such that are going on in, I guess, foreign type of watches, there's a few things coming on abroad here, and I guess through the homeland, I should say. So you have the Supreme Court of the United States. They still have to rule on the tariff thing. That's a pretty big deal. You have the end of the Obamacare subsidies, and they tried to do some negotiations there. That doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Big, beautiful bill, and some of the things will be kicking in here at the start of the new year. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. What am I missing right now? Some of the big stories that are happening within the United States, because we've been spending so much time looking outside.
Well, we have a government shutdown at the end of January that could very well be a high possibility if Congress is not able to act and pass something or pass some type of agreement. Now, we should probably keep in mind that you take things like SNAP and the Department of Veterans Affairs, some of the other, hang-ups whenever there's a government shutdown, those are funded through the end of the fiscal year, which is the end of September. So they won't be a factor if we do hit another government shutdown. But, I'm not quite sure the public's going to be exactly in the mood for another one of those after the last one became the longest one in history, right?
Mm-hmm. Not in the mood. And I think that's the right way to look at it. You know what? People aren't in the mood for anything. Ain't nobody got time for that is the phrase I probably overuse. But when it comes to shutdown or anything government, ain't nobody got time for that. But, the story in Minneapolis, or Minnesota rather, when they're looking at some of the fraud there, one of the big points of the Trump administration was if we're going to get this balance or this budget in check, we need to really cut down on the fraud and abuse. And boy, are they finding it right now.
Well, they certainly are. And there's a lot of different allegations surrounding Medicaid when it comes to the daycare programs that were being operated in Minneapolis, and that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. So this will be certainly a big point of contention. And look, Republicans had kind of said we only want to go after waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid. This kind of gives them some ammunition when it comes to that. But it's not the only thing that is how you save money with Medicaid either. So. The Minnesota issue is not going anywhere anytime soon, and especially when you have a number 3 member of House GOP leadership being a Minnesota representative himself. They're going to probably keep this in the spotlight as much as possible.
Yeah, well, the governor also almost became vice president of the United States.
Yeah, he did.
Talked about it during the presidential debates, was even brought up as a topic of how great his state is when it comes to handling things like this. So those clips have come back to kind of haunt them. Oh, by the way, so in Washington, D.C., how's the construction going at the White House? Have you been monitoring that?
I haven't seen too much of it. No, I haven't been to the White House in a couple weeks either. So no, I haven't seen the update on the East Room, but it didn't really seem like too much activity was happening last time I was there. Weather might play a factor in that too, so keep in mind. But it's coming along. It looks like.
Yeah, I see pictures every once in a while. I wonder what that's like in person because, man, they can get that done quick when the motivation is there. When your boss is the president of the United States, you want to do a good job and you want to do it quickly. And, they've done all kinds of different updates around the White House as of late. So they kind of know their way around it, I guess.
They redid the Situation Room back when I was. I'll be line dancing a little bit. So, it's my first time doing that for New Year's, but our community is strong here in D.C. and we plan on keeping it going.
Line dancing. Hold on a second. Tell me about this line dancing. So, what's the occasion? Are you a big line dancer?
I taught my first. Yeah, I did. I actually taught my first class yesterday as part of the.
Wait, you're a teacher? You teach line dancing?
I am now. Yes, as of 24 hours ago, I am officially a teacher.
Hold up. So tell me, where did this start? How did you get into line dancing?
Well, I've been a two-step and a country swing aficionado for a while now, but DC actually has a huge swing and two-step community here, and our main organization. I promoted it. I've promoted this on this show before, but I'll do it again. We do it through what's called Inspira Dance. Pretty much how it works is that we organize dance events at different bars across the area. You pay a cover charge. You obviously pay food, drinks, all that stuff at the bar. And we give dance lessons to adults, and all the proceeds go to providing dance programs for public schools in the D.C. area. So pretty much, yes. I mean, all you do is pretty much the whole thing is you just pay money to go dance with attractive people, and you help the kids out. So it's a pretty easy sell for a charity.
Here's a hypothetical for you. You're at the White House, you're reporting, and someone busts into the room, and let's say it's a press conference, and they say, we need someone that knows how to line dance, and you raise your hand. They pull you in the back. President Trump says, we need you. Your country needs you. Putin wants to see a line dance right now, and if you do this correctly, there'll be peace between Russia and the Ukraine. What song and what dance are you picking?
Well, first of all, I'm calling Fox HR and Fox PR to make sure it's okay that I do that.
Wait, he says for the sake of the country, their country needs you. You wouldn't just jump
I still need approval. We're a big company. Still got to get approval for those things. But then when if they say yes, it'll probably be Footloose.
Footloose? I've never thought of Footloose as a line dance type of thing. Okay.
It is a line dance. Yeah, the whole movie's about a line dance. Speaking of that, and then there's also High Class by Eric Pashley would also be a good one too. It's a little more challenging. So those are probably my go-to off the top of my head.
Okay, so overall, let's say you do your best. You go out there. Putin's impressed. You save the deal, and there you are. Your country owes you a great debt, all because of line dancing. If you want to use that for, like, perhaps to pitch a television show for Fox Digital,
Yeah.
I give you free reign to do that.
Hopefully, yeah, that'd be a great idea. Yeah, we get the Fox Nation special.
Yep, Fox Nation special. And it could be, you can have commentary from, who would do that? There's all kinds of big stars that come in. Kelsey Grammer, he'll come in and he'll do that one too. All right, so you also have Vice President J.D. Vance. He's someone that's been talking and giving updates from the Middle East, and you mentioned that too. I didn't realize that Jared Kushner was still so involved. I knew he was pretty involved in the first term, but I haven't seen much of him until recently. So is Jared Kushner still pretty involved with this Trump term?
Well, he's kind of a little bit more behind the scenes probably than his last term. He's pretty active and out in front, and he's kind of handling the foreign policy side this time around. So usually the point man for a lot of these big talks has been Steve Witkoff, who's been the special envoy for dealing with situations like Russia, Ukraine, and Israel, Hamas. So maybe it's in a little bit lower of a profile for Jared Kushner, but he kept a relatively low profile during the first Trump administration too, if you remember.
Right, but I mean, super involved, especially when talks came around this last time. But we saw a lot more of him. I thought maybe he's more out of sight in that sense, but he still does a good service, and it seems like he's very talented at the things he does. Okay, Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill, and White House correspondent Ryan Schmelz. Thank you so much for joining us, and Happy New Year to you. May all your line dancing go well.
Thank you, Ryan, and have a great New Year.
That was Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio. What a fun person to talk to. He's a real one, I'll tell you that. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Andy Fry, 97.1 FM Talk.
It goes electric wavy when I turn it on.
Air Comfort Service, online at aircomfortservice.com. Okay, so some warm weather over the Christmas holiday, but cold weather setting in after that. Wherever we are right now with the temperature, you want to make sure that your comfort zone is right there where you want it to be. Obviously at home while you're enjoying the holidays and maybe a little time off, but also at work. You need to have your comfort zone solidly in order to get business done. So if you're a business owner, a building manager, operations manager, or an office manager that has recently been told that your HVAC system is in need of repair, you need to call Air Comfort Service. 314-513-0091. Call Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation to get a free second opinion on heat exchanger or compressor repairs. Air Comfort Service has provided residential and commercial heating and cooling services for 55 years, and they are the very best at it. If you're looking at that steep repair bill, call 314-513-0091. aircomfortservice.com.
Hey, Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. We've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
Today's YouTube live chat poll. Do you think that a peace deal will occur between Ukraine and Russia? We have 4 options for you. Yes, in the next month. Yes, in 2026. Yes, during President Trump's term. Or no, Go and vote on the Annie Fry Show YouTube channel. Once you click on the stream for today's show, there's an option in the chat to be able to vote, and then we will share those votes in about 2.5 hours. So be sure to go and do that. The time is 12:33. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
From Collinsville to Chesterfield, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I guess it's still okay to play Christmas music, but was this just copied over from a previous day and was not flushed out?
Oh, it certainly was not the case.
This is intentional.
So this is a good question. No, this was copied over. But do you find it acceptable in the time between Christmas and the New Year for Christmas music to still be played, or are you, as soon as Christmas Day is done, you're donezo with it?
I don't even want to listen to it mostly leading up to Christmas, honestly. So my wife likes it. She has it on in the house all the time. I get burnt out by it. So I would be okay with no Christmas music whatsoever, let alone extending it. I find totally unnecessary and beyond its scope of where its playground should be. You should stay in your lane. Christmas is over. Get the music out of here. But you're listening to it year-round?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm actually very emphatic on I will not listen to Christmas music before Thanksgiving. I try to put it off till December, but sometimes, you get past Thanksgiving, you kind of get excited, you get in the mood for Christmas music. I usually am not a big fan of personally listening to it after Christmas, but I will accept it if other people, you still have the trees up in most cases, I think. You still have, I don't know, it still feels like Christmas season leading up to the New Year. So I am willing to give people a pass to still play it in the month of December post-Christmas because I'm allowing people to, I'm okay with people having their trees up, their Christmas lights up at that point. I think Christmas music matches those two things.
So you're saying once the tree goes down, the music has to stop, but you're allowed to give a little grace period if the tree's still up. On Friday, we had James O'Sullivan was producing, and a Christmas song came on. And I said, if you're going to play Christmas music after Christmas, you might as well play other holiday music. So we played Monster Mash.
Oh, my gosh.
The next one. And I got to tell you, outside of Halloween, Monster Mash, I think holds up. I would say you might as well play it any other day you want to because I'm all right with that. What do you mean? You don't think that's a good selection for music? Because you picked the show music. You don't think that's a good one?
On the day after Christmas?
Yeah.
Why?
Day after Christmas.
Why?
Because they're doing the mash.
It is the wrong holiday.
No, it is the Monster Mash.
Okay. All right.
That's what it is. So yesterday in Mar-a-Lago, you had President Trump meet with Zelensky, and I had some audio from this. Part of it was making the announcement, here's where we think we are, and I will put a disclaimer out here. The clip is longer. I edited the start and finish of the clip together, meaning there's a point where he thanks all the different leaders of other countries. I cut that out for the sake of time, just so we can get the context of the things they talked about at Mar-a-Lago. Let me press play here. Okay.
We discussed a lot of things. As you know, I had an excellent phone call with President Putin that lasted for over 2 hours. We discussed a lot of points, and I do think we're getting a lot closer, maybe very close. And our meeting was excellent. We covered, somebody would say 95%, I don't know what percent, but we have made a lot of progress on ending that war, which is really certainly the most deadly war since World War II, probably the biggest war since World War II.
Yeah. So that's where we are on this one. And it sounds like the president is actually speaking again here. He's been a busy guy, isn't he? Meets at Mar-a-Lago. Now he's speaking live again. You want to try to bring up Fox? Let's hear what he's saying.
The drug lords, the drug dealers were all sent into our country. But think of it, what he's done. Tren de Aragua, probably the worst gang. They cut off people's fingers. One man made a phone call to complain about them. He cut off their hand. They cut off his hand. Don't ever make a phone call again. We'll cut off your other hand. After that, we'll kill you, they said. That was in Colorado. No, they sent in all of the bad ones. They sent in some bad people. And that to me was just terrible. And they send in drugs. Now, I will say this, 97% of the drugs coming in by sea stopped. We're trying to figure out who the other 3% are. They have a hard time getting people to pilot those boats. But 97% of the drugs coming in by the ocean, by the sea, by water, are gone. Every boat that we take out, we save 25,000 lives of Americans. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you. We're going to have a big meeting, and we'll see you in a couple of hours if you'd like. And if you'd like, you can come up and have lunch like you did yesterday. Would you like that or not? Do you want that? Because some of them think it's terrible. It's a bribe. But, you know, a bribe for $25, I don't know. If you'd like, you can go. And if you don't, you can stand in a driveway and melt. All right? But if you want, will you work on that, Margot? Yes, sir. Is Margot doing a good job? She's a star. She's too nice. Her only problem, she's too nice to you. And you're not nice to us, but that's okay.
He's saying
Margot, take them
we're
up
too
and
nice to
have
the
a
press.
beautiful lunch.
We're going to feed you on this Monday while you wait, because so that's the president meeting just briefly before his meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu. Is that right? Okay.
Yes,
Then-
he is standing next
Yeah.
to Bibi Netanyahu.
Oh, how about that? So you have one day you're meeting with Zelensky. You're in Mar-a-Lago. Next, is he in the White House in this one? What's the setting here? Or
He
down in
is.
Mar-a-Lago
They are
still?
standing outside of Mar-a-Lago right now.
Mar-a-Lago. Gotcha. Okay. Well, another meeting back to back. I wonder if Netanyahu and Zelensky overlapped at all. I wonder if they met each other. Wouldn't that be something? So both of them there to continue to get United States support and pitch their reason why the United States should support them. Wow. Well, lots going on at Mar-a-Lago. All the business that goes down, he could find a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine and continue on to, at least very soon, maybe something between Israel and Gaza. You know, J.D. Vance talked about this yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Here, let me play this quick
What
clip.
we've seen the past week gives me great optimism the ceasefire is going to hold. And if we get from where we were a week ago to a long-term, durable peace between Israel and Gaza, there are going to be hills and valleys. There are going to be moments where it looks like things aren't going particularly well. But given that, and given the history of conflict, I think that everybody should be proud of where we are today.
And something else that happened over the weekend on ABC. So Mike Turner was asked about this when it comes to Trump foreign policy, first term versus second term. And on ABC, they tried to push Mike Turner and make him sound like the inconsistencies of the Trump administration. Isn't this strange? And, you know, I thought he did a good job answering it.
We've seen just in the past 2 weeks, you had...
By the way, this is I can't remember who the host was here on ABC, but I want you to listen to this one little dig they try to push in there.
We've seen just in the past 2 weeks, you had those strikes in Nigeria, you had strikes in Syria,
Still
also
ISIS.
against ISIS, and we've had a continuation of the attacks in the Caribbean on those alleged drug boats.
I love he says alleged drug boats. So here's another thing that'll happen, especially with ABC and some of these major outlets. They will never admit when they were wrong. So when, let's say, they finally get to the point where they'll admit that these are actual drug boats and what's being targeted, they'll never go back and correct the record that they were out there showing doubt of this, as in they look at this as we're doing our duty as journalists to try to show some skepticism that the Trump administration we need to leave the door open that he's out there just bombing pleasure boats for the fun of it. So we're going to say alleged drug boats out there. I think they're doing that not because they feel like there's any malice in what's going on. I think they honestly are doing this because they feel like this is an opportunity for us to get a dig at him while we can. Let me continue on.
In the Caribbean on those alleged drug boats. And suggestions President Trump has made that he could attack targets on the land in Venezuela, maybe even Colombia. This is a very different approach to military force than we saw in his first term.
Well,
I mean, not necessarily. If you take, the linear aspects of the foreign policy of the first term into the second term, with respect to the policy of ISIS, it's very consistent, both in Iraq and defeating ISIS, and then in Syria, and then, of course, here in Nigeria. And we're of course seeing that ISIS around the world has not been defeated, but will continue to be, a target and something that, with our allies, we're going to have to continue to respond to, or they're going to continue to be a threat.
ISIS will be a threat, and they always will be if they exist. And it's so funny because, especially with these boats and what's going on there, you have these drug boats, and you heard the president, as we dipped in to Mar-a-Lago, just real briefly, we heard the tail end of him talking about it. But every time you take out a boat, you're saving about 25,000 American lives. What it equates to is the junk that they're bringing in. Here's what the result of that junk is. And if you can't get them to stop, there's kind of a little bit of an irony with this, too, because if you go back during the first term that Donald Trump had in office, he would say things like, we need to close the border because of all the trafficking that's going on. You have human trafficking and you have drug trafficking. And the Democrats said, well, it's not just the southern border stuff's coming in. So you can stop and block off the southern border, but you're not going to stop human and drug trafficking. They're going to come in on boats. They're going to come in through Canada. They were saying things like this. And Donald Trump, I think, said, all right, then I guess we'll get rid of the boats too. If they're going to be trafficking this junk in here and killing Americans, then we'll get rid of the boats. And now they're like, oh, wait, what? What do you mean get rid of the boats? To say, especially allude to, and what ABC was doing there, to say there's a big change between the first term and the second term. The thing that hasn't changed is Donald Trump wants to do what's best for America and Americans. Meaning, if there is something that is killing Americans en masse, and we know and have been able to identify what it is, then he's going to step in and stop that from happening, because that's what's in the best interest of America. So there's no inconsistencies whatsoever. There's terrorist organizations that are doing terrible things to people across the world, including Americans, in some cases, and this Christians when it comes to religious persecution. But the trafficking, the drugs, all of these things, it all adds up, and it all has been his number one priority, putting America first. It's period. It's simple as that. So I don't know why they're looking at this as in, oh, there's been such a big change in the first and second term. Well, I mean, he's brokering more peace deals, and he's stopping junk from getting into the United States. Let it be through an open border, or let it be through boats that are trafficking this stuff in there. But it's very consistent, I think. And, it all tracks in the right direction. I'm Ryan Recker. I'm filling in for Annie Fry. Happy to be with you. We're almost at break time. Is this about our break time? Yeah, it's about the right time. A couple other things I want to get to, and I really enjoy when I get to spend time here with you, but I will say there's a lot of things that I do in my free time that would be looked at as very strange. I'm going to bring a few of them up to you. You tell me if they're that strange, Ethan. I'm curious. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
Oh, yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Hey, it's your main man, Jimmy Fallon, and I am headed your way. Saturday, January 24th at the Factory in Chesterfield. We are defunding the joke police. So grab your tickets at 971fmtalk.com/events, and I will see you in the loo.
Hi, Chad Hansen from Hansen's Tree Service. Winter is the best time to remove dead and dangerous limbs from your trees before a winter storm brings them crashing down. Give us a call today or check us out at hansenstree.com and take advantage of our great winter discount.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Real estate investing isn't just about numbers. It can change your life. At Lifestyles Unlimited, we teach you how to invest in real estate with purpose, real-world strategy, and a focus on income you can build over time. Many of our members start to see how the right investment can create income, stability, and even improve communities. Join today for just $297, a 60% savings off the regular price. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't.
Welcome back to Annie Fry Show. Ethan, I have some weird hobbies, but there's something else that I do at the end of the year, and some people think of it as weird, but I collect animation cells. Do you know what those are?
Mm-mm.
So back the old way they used to make cartoons is you'd have like basically a clear page where an artist would paint on it, and you do one after another to give the illusion of motion with
Okay.
cartoons. So I collect the actual physical media that was used to make classic cartoons. I really enjoy that. It's kind of a cool thing. You're holding into your hand a piece of history. It feels like created by some fantastic artists. And that is a weird community I'm a part of online. I talk with them nonstop. We're always looking. We're buying. We're selling. We're trading. I almost turned it into a small business the way I purchase and sell stuff and kind of fund the hobby that way, where I build up my own personal collection based on things I find and resell. So that's cool. You know what else I do at the end of the year? I love looking at lists of people who died in 2025.
That would go under the category of semi-weird things.
What? So when I go on YouTube, if you want to look at what YouTube's curating to me right now, it's a bunch of lists of people that died in the past year. That's a weird thing for you know
who
hop onto YouTube. And
you know
it's a
who I
bunch
bet
of
would
goats.
appreciate that? I bet Sue
Who's that?
Thomas would appreciate that because she's very with Sue's News. I feel like she tends to usually at some point feature something about just like remembering those who we lost in the year of 2025. So I feel like Sue Thomas would I bet at some point in the coming days we'll get something on that in Sue's News.
Okay, well, here is some celebrities that died over the past year. Some you may remember, some you don't. Robert Redford, I forgot, passed in September. Diane Keaton, that's more of a recent one. That was in October. Rob Reiner, of course, that's really recent. That was just a week or two ago. That Rob Reiner stuff.
Terrible.
I also feel bad for the family, and not only that, but you're looking like your brother did that to your parents, and now that's a whole different dynamic in the family. It's just absolutely horrific. And if you're a radio person and you put a year-end special together, you're like, oh, great, now I got to look at this. I got to go back into the station and fix that program now because someone else we got to add to the list. Ozzy Osbourne was this year. Gene Hackman. You remember the whole Gene Hackman thing that happened this year, too, where they found his body inside
wasn't it
the house?
It was carbon monoxide, right? Poisoning.
That's it. Yeah.
Isn't that what it was?
Right. I believe so. At first, they thought it was the younger wife or whatever that was living. There were so many theories that happened at first, but it was such a tragedy.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer. I forgot. Val Kilmer died this year in April. Val Kilmer was the man. Was he so good in all those movies he was in? Michelle Trachtenberg. Do you remember her? She died in April.
I do not know who
actress
that is.
was found. She had
Okay.
some complications with diabetes, I believe.
Mm.
David Lynch, the director. Are you familiar with his work?
Sounds familiar. Do you know anything off the top of your head that he's done?
Made a lot of strange stuff. If
Okay.
it was black and white and strange in modern time, you'd be like, that's probably David
Got
Lynch.
it.
Jane Goodall, she worked with the chimpanzees. I forgot she died. Malcolm Jamal Warner died this year, too. That was over the summer. I'm looking. Brian Wilson. He was from the Beach Boys, of course. I forgot he went this year. That was in June. Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania went. I had the chance to meet him. I didn't get to. It was that he was in our building at the radio station last year, and I was hosting and filling in for Annie Fry, and he was late. If he would have came at the right time, I would have met him, but I was doing the show when he was in the building, so I didn't get to say hi.
I think that you may have been hosting one of the days around when he passed as well for one of the shows here on 97.1, because I remember discussing him. I believe it was with you. But yeah, obviously, definitely a very sad one.
It's a weird connection to have with Hulk Hogan. Pope Francis, I guess they put him in the celebrity, but he's in there too. Giorgio Armani, which I don't know if I would be able to pinpoint any of his clothing, is it? Or fashion or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Cliff was the reggae artist. Dick Cheney, I forgot, died this past year.
That wasn't that long ago, was it?
Dick Cheney was
in the last couple of months?
November, early
Okay,
November. Ace Frehley from Kiss, that one happened in October. There's a couple of other there. George Foreman, completely forgot George Foreman died in March.
This list is way bigger than I thought it would be.
I know, there's so many
Way
names on there.
more big names than I expected there to be.
And I'm not even naming all of them. I'm only naming the ones I recognize.
Oh my gosh.
There's so many in here.
You haven't even named the biggest one yet.
Charlie Kirk?
Well, I mean,
he's on there.
Yeah, I mean,
forgot about that.
He was. I don't know if would you have put Charlie Kirk in celebrity status? I guess he was. It was just a very unique celebrity, I guess, political celebrity. But I was thinking Ozzy Osbourne.
We did say Ozzy, didn't we?
I don't
Did we miss Ozzy.
Did you say? I don't know if you said Ozzy yet. Maybe I missed
I
it.
might have missed him. Julian McMahon, he was an actor. He was in a bunch of stuff. Peter Green was in a bunch of stuff too. Michael Madsen, he was in, kind of connected to some of those Tarantino films. Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne. Maybe I skipped over him on accident, but he was a big one. I mean, one of the more legendary. I think when Hulk Hogan died and Ozzy died, they're right around the same time. And I remember talking about this on air with you. I said, who do you think was a bigger, who do you think will be remembered longer, Ozzy or Hulk Hogan? Because Hulk Hogan was someone that was in pop culture for so long. Ozzy, I think music almost sustains popularity longer than regular celebs would. It's probably Ozzy because of his music.
I would say Ozzy probably too.
So many celebrities died. But you know what? Get used to it. Every year from here on out, we've cranked out so many celebrities over the years, and they've just been compiling and not dying. So here on out, this is going to be the new normal. It's just going to be one after another. Morbid sadness from here on out as we continue on. So that's what I like to do. If I go to YouTube right now, be like, oh, there's another one. Compilation of people who've died. People you forgot who died. Significant discoveries from the past year. This or that. I love those compilations. I can't get enough of it. Coming up after the break, a few things I do want to get to, like that FBI investigation that's going on in Minnesota. I have some clips. In fact, it's kind of interesting. There's been some things that have surfaced since this past weekend. Of course, you have the FBI and Kash Patel that's going to be looking into this. But there's something else that's happening. Apparently, the TV stations have been reporting on this in Minneapolis and Minnesota as a whole. June Lockhart, yeah, that's another one there. Someone said, celebrities that passed. Thank you for the messages that are coming in on the live feed. D'Angelo, singer of Pony, among other songs. I don't know who D'Angelo is. I'm sorry. Is that a popular musician?
I have no idea.
Yeah, a couple of other ones that are on that list. But apparently, this is something that's been a problem for years. They've been trying to raise awareness to it. No one's been paying attention. But now the FBI is looking into it, and I think they're going to find very clearly that these violations that a lot of these places were getting were not only racking up, but they continue to give them millions of dollars, did no benefit to the community whatsoever. And there's great, great audio of Tim Walz bragging about just how great Minnesota is as a state to take care of all of these parents. That's going to be a good one, too. And who knows, you may get a post-press conference between President Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. We're going to keep an eye on that, and we'll bring it to you if it happens. The Annie Fry Show continues, 97.1 FM Talk.
I knew that I would not.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code NEXT for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code NEXT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code NEXT.
Here in St. Louis, we take pride in supporting our health and our community. That's why more and more families are turning to Neovitin multivitamins, created by a local physician and made right here in the U.S. using the highest quality domestic and international ingredients. With formulas for men, women, and adults 50 plus, Neovitin helps keep St. Louis families energized, supported, and ready for life. Find Neovitin at your local Deerbergs, Schnucks, and online at neovitin.com. Neovitin, trusted nutrition from St. Louis for St. Louis.
I love this song! I love nachos.
Loving everything? You might be buzzed.
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Peace. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox News. President Trump speaking for a second day in a row with Russia's president as the U.S. pushes a peace deal with Ukraine.
President Trump concluded a positive phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin this morning, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says. It was the second call in as many days between the two leaders and followed President Trump's in-person sit-down yesterday with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at Mar-a-Lago. Both Zelensky and President Trump expressed optimism about the prospects of a peace deal with Russia, though President Trump concedes the future of territory remains a difficult and unresolved issue. Russia is demanding all of the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine. Zelensky is proposing the region become a demilitarized economic zone. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And Fox Business's Darren Bothello has more on that meeting between President Trump and President Zelensky on Sunday.
President Zelensky posting on X saying in part, the President of the United States confirmed strong security guarantees. He confirmed the details that had been developed up to this point by our negotiating teams regarding these security guarantees. And he confirmed that they would be put to a vote by the United States Congress. Both sides also discussed an economic plan, which included the idea of a free economic zone in eastern Ukraine. While the president made it clear it wasn't agreed to yet, he said it's close.
The word agreed is too strong. I would say not agreed, but we're getting closer.
Meanwhile, Russian officials are claiming Ukraine targeted one of President Putin's private estates with a drone strike overnight.
And just one day before that meeting, Russia launched drone and missile attacks into Ukraine's capital, killing one person and injuring more than 30 others. President Trump right now meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago, discussing the latest in Gaza and that fragile ceasefire. America is listening to Fox News.
Ten athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
Trainer Games on Prime Video January 8th. Watch the trailer on trainergames.com.
Looking for something new? Try fencing, the Olympic and Paralympic sport that mixes speed, strategy, and fun. It's like chess meets cardio. Quick feet, quick decisions, and a satisfying beat when you score a point. Kids, teens, and adults can start anytime. No experience needed, and many clubs have loaner gear. Coaches teach fundamentals and safety from day one. Find a beginner class near you at usafencing.org/tryfencing. That's usafencing.org/tryfencing.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
I promised a shock to the system, and winter is back. Though lots of sunshine this afternoon, it is windy and it is cold. Bundle up. 28 for the high. Tonight, clear and cold. Winds fade. 17 for the overnight low. Tuesday, sunny and cold. 35. Wednesday, sunny and 45 for the New Year's Eve. It's cold, 27 degrees, but quiet. New Year's Day, partly sunny and 39. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
And as you heard, Fox News top of the hour at Mar-a-Lago now, you have the president meeting with Netanyahu. We'll keep an eye out because I'm guessing they may have a few words to say after that meeting gets out. I don't know if that'll happen during the show, but just know we are watching it for you. Our YouTube live chat poll, do you think that a peace deal will occur between Russia and Ukraine? So your choices are yes in the next month, yes in 2026, yes during Trump's term, but no. So go ahead and vote which way you think that is in the YouTube chat poll as we speak. Ethan, I do have a question. Do you know who Caleb Hammer is?
Caleb Hammer. The name does not ring a bell, no.
He's very popular right now on YouTube and social media. You may have seen some of his clips curated where essentially he yells profanities at people that are really stupid with their money. Does that sound familiar at all?
I mean, there's a very good chance that something has popped up on my feed, perhaps from him, but I don't know him specific by name.
Well, he does a show called Financial Audit, and I've seen the memes floating around where it shows him, Caleb Hammer, and on the other side of the table is Governor Walz from Minnesota, and it'll say things like, you're budgeting $8 billion on daycare for kids that don't exist. So what he does, he'll go through people's finances, and they'll normally be in a lot of debt, and he will just berate them for making one stupid decision after another, until they're basically at the point of crying because they are just so shot down hardcore. I will say that I don't know if he's a conservative, but as a conservative and someone that wants to, point out how stupid people are when it comes to money, this is very entertaining. I'll put it that way. And I think he sympathizes in a lot of different ways. And that's what we're starting to see, these alleged fraud scheme in Minnesota that almost looks guaranteed fraud scheme. And as it turns out, as the FBI is looking into this and Kash Patel wants to know where the money is, I think it's kind of funny that they say something along the lines of, we don't know if it's $1 billion. That's like the defense of Governor Walz right now. We don't know if the fraud is in $1 billion. Like, he's not going to deny it's happening. He's at the point of just trying to downplay its extent, which makes sense because if you got nothing else to do, this is what you do. I wanted to back up because apparently ABC in Minneapolis reported on these back in January of this year and brought up some of the very same concerns. This is not something that's new. So I wanted to play you and just kind of rewind 12 months ago and see where the investigations were. And I thought, how come none of this was followed up on? Let's press play here.
Here we go. Is anybody there? Since 2018, Minnesota Child Care Center, however, received $11.5 million in CCAP money. I asked DHS why daycare centers could still receive millions of dollars with questionable safety records over multiple years. In a statement, DHS said under state law, they can only stop payment, quote, when a provider intentionally gives false information or submits false attendance records. A provider is operating after a suspension or revocation of its license. There's a credible allegation of fraud and/or a provider refuses access to attendance records.
What does that say to you?
It says that the oversight is incredibly lacking.
I shared our findings with House Speaker designate Lisa Damon.
Are we keeping kids in Minnesota safe? And what you're showing me here brings that very much into question.
Yeah. So as they start to show these things, so what's happened over the past year? Well, this continues to happen. As we saw on YouTube, Nick Shirley created a documentary about this fraud going on in Minnesota. And it's about a 45-minute internet documentary. You can go watch it for yourself if you want to. But they're pretty thorough. So him and a partner basically get together with a watchdog. The watchdog goes down the list. Here is all the different daycares in our area that is collecting millions and millions and millions of dollars. Let's go visit them and see what these operations look like, because if we're going to subsidize these organizations for all this money, then we just want to, make sure they're offering the service they say they're offering for the money. Well, what they found out over and over and over and over again was empty buildings, vacant buildings, multiple businesses operating under the same address, which there's nothing to operate inside. You're not seeing the kids. You're not seeing the workers. You're not seeing any services being rendered. And that was a common thread over and over and over again. And part of the different piece that they put together, at least the part that I'm going to focus on, is one of the weird things that you find inside of office buildings. It's office buildings that are just rows of different businesses that are occupying these part of the building, and it's one daycare after a different daycare after a different daycare after a different daycare, none of which are doing anything. It's all right in the middle of the day when you think daycare would be going on, and no services are being rendered, but it's all centralized in one office building.
Welcome to Bright Beginning Center. But what do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Sorry. No comments. Can I please?
Right here, you have Serenity Quality Care. All of these businesses are literally the same type of business, providing the same service in the same building. Another, Convenience Home Healthcare, Aid, Inc., and Child Friendly Space. All these companies get money from the government. Why would you have the same company, essentially, inside of the same building, door to door? Right here, Queenly Home Healthcare. It just does not make sense. If you're trying to operate a business, you'd want to have less competition. But here, they have all of their competition right next door. We're wondering, because we hear there's lots of fraud taking place here in Minnesota, and we're wondering, why is there so many of the same companies inside of this same building?
No, I don't know that.
What do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't have any idea about that fraud, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
What do you think about the news articles and what's being spread on the news about the fraud?
Right now, you are doing something wrong.
I'm just asking you
No, you
about
don't
the
have
fraud.
to ask me, okay? Don't ask me that question again.
Okay.
Okay?
Who can I speak to?
Yeah?
Who can I speak to? Okay. As soon as you confront them about the fraud, they get angry.
Okay. Here's let's kind of play out the likely scenarios here. Money's gone. They're not going to recover anything. The worst that can happen is, let's say Somalis that are involved in this are here temporarily. They could get deported. Like, that's the likely scenario? Because will there be jail time? Well, let's say perhaps that they're required to pay back the money they stole, and fraud was part of this than potential jail time. Would they do that? It depends, too, because if you're inside a state that is friendly to these immigrants that are ripping off the system to the point of millions of dollars of fraud, or even to the point of hundreds of millions of dollars, or even to the point of billion-plus dollars worth of fraud, if you enabled them to do that and gave them the leeway and the freedom to do so, then are you going to prosecute them to the full extent of the law? You know, Minnesota and Governor Walz probably look like they are persecuted. Oh, okay. Haven't they suffered enough? Just give them the millions and millions of dollars they weren't afforded to, and let's just move on from here. It seems like that's going to be part of the plan. But Tim Walz, if you remember, when they were up doing the vice presidential debates, you had Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance debated against Tim Walz. It was a good debate. So here's what Tim Walz had to say regarding how great his state is. This is going back during the election.
We in Minnesota passed a paid family medical leave. You have a child, and I had to go back to work 5 days after my kids were born. This allows you to stay home a certain amount of time. What we know is that gets the child off to a better start. The family works better. We stay in their employers. We get more consistency in that. So Kamala Harris has made it a priority. We implemented it in Minnesota, and we see growth. That's how you become a pro-business state. And so a paid family medical leave program, and I will tell you, go to the families or go to the businesses and ask them. As far as childcare on this, you have to take it at both the supply and the demand side. You can't expect the most important people in our lives to take either our children or our parents to get paid the least amount of money. And we have to make it easier for folks to be able to get into that business and then to make sure that folks are able to pay for that. We were able to do it in Minnesota, and I'm still telling you this. We were listed as the best state. We're still in crisis on this. A federal program of paid family and medical leave and help with this will enhance our workforce, enhance our families, and make it easier to have the children that you want.
Say it again. You're budgeting $8 billion on daycare for kids that don't exist. You don't think the money could be reprioritized in other ways that could actually help people? And if you're inside Minnesota, think about all the things that were cut. And they talked about cuts to policing, public safety, because, those are the enemies. But now you're saying that we're going to prioritize giving millions of dollars out for people claiming to put daycares together. We're going to put literally zero oversight or repercussion if they can't even give us the roles of how many people are inside of this daycare. And when questioned, we're going to continue to allow them to draw millions of dollars out to fund empty buildings where they don't really care if attendance is there or not. They're still getting paid and sitting around with it. The oversight is guaranteed now because of all the national pressures that are going on. And it all starts with one guy on Twitter, Nick Shirley, who got this all into motion. Good for him. I know that ABC Minnesota, we played that clip from earlier this year. They've been looking into this. They report it, goes nowhere. That's the end. Nick Shirley did something, and there's actually going to be change associated with what he did. That's fantastic. We need more people like him. I'm Ryan Riker, filling in for Annie Fry. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
I think I'm about to explode. I can taste the tension like a cloud of smoke in the air. Now I'm breathing like I'm running 'cause you're taking me there. Don't you know? You spin me out of control.
The Retirement Advisory Group is inviting you to call 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494, or visit them online at retirementkey.com so that you can set up a free retirement review. You're going to get a copy of their latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. There are so many people exactly like you who have been waiting for the opportunity to sit down, to have that conversation, and get the peace of mind that you know that you need to have before you pull the trigger on actually retiring from your job, your career, something that you've done for a long time, something that you love, and something that you're ready to not have to do any longer. The Retirement Advisory Group can set you on the path with confidence to know that you are in a place where you can effectively Make that a possibility. Call the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. Online at retirementkey.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
This holiday season, when you get them STIHL, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit STIHLUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from STIHL. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Smart talk, strong values. This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much of love drives a man insane. You broke my will, but what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I let you love what I thought it was funny. You came along and woo, now honey, I've changed my mind. This love is fine. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Kisses, baby.
It's a Monday. It's a week where we will have to change our calendars over to 2026. You know what's kind of funny? When I was growing up, this time of year, everyone would say things like, I wonder how long I'm going to be writing 2025 on my checks. No one says that anymore because no one writes checks anymore. No one's concerned about writing 2025 on anything. Everything's done on a digital device. I don't know if we're in trouble or not. Ethan, I got some questions for you. Did you watch Nickelodeon or Disney or any of those networks growing up?
I did.
That type of programming.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy that they keep talking about online from Ned's Declassified, former star Tyler Chase. Were you familiar with him before he was on the streets? And,
I was not.
Saved?
No, I was not. I never watched Ned's Declassified very often. Like I watched the show a little bit, but I have seen the stuff regarding him now and the latest on him. Yes.
Right. So there's been a lot of attention on him. It's kind of fascinating because if we look at this as a case study, there's a lot of people that wanted to help him because of his association with the TV show. He was a child star, found him living on the street, not in a good condition, always trying to hold his pants up. Every video I've seen, he's like holding his pants up. Somebody get this guy a belt, please. I don't care if it's an extension cord he has to tie in the front. Get him something to hold his pants up because he spends, I don't know how much energy trying to keep those things from falling to the ground. So the former star had some issues with homelessness. You had other people that were stars on the network, people that were child actors, reach out to him, try to get him a place to stay. We're going to put you up in this motel. We're going to get you to rehab. We want to help you. So they put him up in the hotel. They get him a meal, and he's like very thankful for all of this. Like you can see that he's like, smiling and this is great. And thank you so much. Put him in a hotel room or motel, I should say. And apparently he trashed the place, which is not great. So they put him into rehab, involuntary rehab. And apparently after 72 hours, they were supposed to send him after this involuntary mental health crisis to a different facility. Well, that facility released him because he wanted to go. Now TMZ has a photo of him smoking crack on the street again. And the picture of him smoking crack, it does not look like he's having a good time. He is wearing this oversized jacket. On his head, I'm not sure how to explain this. It looks like you were to take someone's pants and rip it and kind of have like this a circular part of the pants and use it as a small hat. It almost looks something like that, like a ripped leg of a pants used as a hat. And he's got the tattoos. He's got the, the scour on his face because they're showing him literally holding a crack pipe. Isn't that sad? I look at this and I think drugs, it's such an issue. It's such a problem. It's ruined so many people. I know that being a child star doesn't mean you're going to be guaranteed money for life because not everyone manages their money properly, but it's also not a guarantee you're going to end up on the street. It means that just one day, if you're out of acting and you did that thing for a little bit, you got the benefit of it. Hopefully you save some money, but if not, you get another job. If you want to keep acting, you get another job. If you don't want to act, you do something else. You go to school. Your education is important. You can go and find something else. And you know what? Maybe one day there'll be a reunion, or a lot of people go to these different Comic-Cons and they sign autographs for fans for, $50 a pop. So as this continues to go on, sometimes you look at it and say, at what point are they just going to say, we tried our best? We got to stop. It's over. Do you think maybe this would probably be in poor taste, but can we use him as an example for why we're trying to get rid of these drug boats from coming into the United States? What they're trying to stop from coming into the United States. This is someone you may have watched on a television show that was popular enough for people to know who he is. They recognize his face, even though his face is not the same as it was when he was a kid, but they can see it. And now they see pictures of him smoking crack after all these different efforts and all these different people who have tried to help him. Can we say that maybe there's something to what Donald Trump is trying to do in getting this junk off the street? Can we agree that drugs are bad? Can we agree that these drugs bring death? Can we agree that when you look at California and they're hunched over like they're trying to tie their shoe, but they're just standing there, not moving, standing dead, whatever it is? Can we admit that the people that are bringing these drugs in that cause this are not good people? Can we say that we would save lives by stopping this from coming in? And even if it means blowing the stuff up before it gets here, it saves American lives, and that's the goal here? Can we say that or not? Or would you just say, let's look at this Tyler Chase, who was on Ned's Declassified as a child star, and say, you know what, whatever. This is the way it is. Bring the drugs in, and if it's your family member that's caught up in this, sorry, we had to let those drug traffickers operate. No, we just had to let the drug traffickers do their thing. Don't you have any sympathy for the drug traffickers here? Is that what you expect us to say? I don't think it should be like that. And we shouldn't have to live that way either. Speaking of celebrities, this is kind of interesting. Cheryl Hines was on with Dr. Phil. And during the election, you had her husband, Robert Kennedy Jr., RFK Jr., was first running as an independent, then joined forces with Donald Trump. And we had that big moment with the Sparks and everything else where they come into agreement. I think Charlie Kirk was a big part of bringing those two together, if I remember correctly. But once they joined forces, Donald Trump said, I'm going to bring you on, and we're going to do Make America Healthy Again. And all these things that you've been advocating for over the years, we're going to try to implement those things. So we'll put you as the head of the department. And he's like, all right, let's do it. They joined forces. I don't know if that's the reason why Donald Trump won, but it's some of the reasons why, because with him not running also, I think that helped clear the way some, at least bringing them back on board. Well, during all of this, you have Cheryl Hines, who's in Hollywood. And in the past, she's described how mean people were to her. She said the conservatives, they weren't mean to her. It didn't matter she was any type of leaning, but they were always nice and courteous. She said as soon as Robert F. Kennedy Jr., her husband, showed interest in running, even as an independent, and then showed some, skepticism about some of the health standards and things like that, she said that the meanest, they were the absolute meanest to her, were the liberals that were in Hollywood. So during that time, there were some speculations that Cheryl Hines and RFK Jr. may have separated because of all of these things that are going on. It's kind of interesting because Dr. Phil asked about that, and maybe those were just rumors in order to protect her. Listen to this.
He said he even offered a fake separation if he thought it would help.
Yes.
Did you consider that?
Well, things got really intense. Yes. I didn't consider it, but you're talking about during COVID, when Bobby was speaking about vaccine safety, and he wanted to see the studies where the COVID vaccine was safe. He had feelings about it being mandatory. He had feelings about the shutdown. And they weren't always popular, especially in this town.
Yeah, especially in this town. Not always popular. Didn't get popular. Isn't that something? I thought about that as a husband. Would you be able to leak false information in order to protect your wife? Because you know people hate you. So you don't want them hating her because you love her. So you say, okay, I've devised this plan to make it look like she hates me too, so they're on her side, so they'll leave her alone. And that type of information gets leaked out. Dr. Phil now asking about it, did you ever consider, but because she never really publicly came out and said any of that stuff, but it sounds like they tried to put that rumor out there to try to protect her. That is an interesting strategy. Really interesting strategy. If you haven't already voted in our YouTube poll, I think this would be a good opportunity for you to hop on. If you want to go say hi in the comment section too, that's always good. YouTube live chat poll. Do you think that a peace deal will occur between Ukraine and Russia? Your options are yes in the next month, yes in 2026, yes during Trump's term, or no. It's really hard to tell at this point. Yesterday, the optimism level was high. When you have Putin come out today that they bombed my residence, it seems like trying to get Russia on board seems low. They may be using this as a stall tactic or maybe just to show their disapproval that they don't want to give up any more concessions. So we'll see how that goes. Also, we are monitoring Mar-a-Lago. You have President Trump meeting with Netanyahu, so we'll see if there's any progress between Israel there in the Middle East with Gaza. Could there come to be some more peace deals yet to be announced before the end of 2025? I mean, nothing short of a miracle if you can get some sort of peace going on there, but all signs point to that possibly happening. So we got that going on. If there is a press conference after they're done speaking, we'll bring it to you here on 97.1. And what I'd like to do is, just duck in and we'll hear a couple of questions to kind of get a gist of how things went. We want to keep you informed on that. All right. Coming up after the break, a lot of people talking about J.D. Vance in 2028, but they have to take things slow. Why? Because if they take it too fast, could that lead the way for Gavin Newsom to become the next president? And I want you to ask this question to yourself. Is there a stronger Democratic candidate than Gavin Newsom right now? I don't know if there is. So that's why you have to play with some caution. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Andy Fry on 97.1 FM Talk.
Kiss me, baby. Ooh, feels good. Hold me, baby. Well, to love you like I love is should. You're fine, so kind. Got to tell this world that you're mine.
Hey, it's good to see you.
You know, there's a certain way we do things around here. The Grasser way.
The Grasser way?
We don't cut corners and we don't take shortcuts. Not on the little stuff and not on the big stuff.
We do the big stuff.
That's right. Whole home generators that kick on the moment the grid gives up. Lights stay on, heat stays on, your family stays safe. So your house stays warm.
And your ice cream stays frozen.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another. For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 6 or Saturday afternoon at 4, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Okay, we've got the chips, the fancy cheese, the sparkling cider. Oh, and I need to fill up the tank on the way home.
Look at the cart. We haven't even hit midnight yet, and you're already blowing your save money resolution for next year.
I'm not blowing it. I'm being smart. I'm using Upside.
Upside? That cash back app?
Exactly. I just claimed an offer, and just like that, I'm getting cash back on all these groceries. And I'll do the same at the gas station. It's how I earned an extra $250 this year.
Wait, $250?
Yep, that's extra cash I can cash out to my bank or throw onto gift cards to my favorite spots.
Download the free Upside app and start earning cash back now. Use promo code POP for a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase. That's promo code POP. Make your resolution easy this year. Download the free Upside app today and use promo code POP for an extra $10 bonus on your first purchase.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Today's YouTube live chat poll. Do you think that a peace deal will occur between Ukraine and Russia? The options, yes in the next month, yes in 2026, yes during President Trump's term, or no. Go and vote on the Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat, and we'll be sharing those results in about just under 90 minutes. The time is 1:32. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
Consistently right.
It's a ritual.
97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Annie Fry. Yeah, go vote in the YouTube poll. I would like to read those results at the end. I'm very curious where you think this one's going, particularly because we had such a big bomb drop that, Russia's not too happy right now, considering Russia thinks that Ukraine is bombing the residents of Putin. Let me ask you this, Ethan, if you don't mind. Is there a bigger star in the Democratic Party right now than Gavin Newsom?
Oh, geez. That is a
Who
terrible...
would you say has the best odds of all of it?
Yeah, I guess I'd say define star. I mean, I don't even know how, if the Democratic Party would be able to define it right now. I guess by consolation, because I don't know who else would be there. I mean, is it Kamala Harris right now? It seems like the party has turned against her. I genuinely, I don't know else you would put in there. I mean, Josh Shapiro's kind of been quiet here.
Okay.
Since I guess the vice president pick
Awfully quiet.
got made. I don't know. There really isn't a someone that's leading it in a sense right now. But I guess by default, by consolation, it's Newsom right now. But boy, there is not a good answer to that question right now.
When it comes to Kamala Harris, remember the Tiger King meme? We'll never financially recover from this. I don't think they'll ever recover financially from Kamala Harris blowing through all that money. Is the Democrat Party even out of debt yet? I feel like they're still trying to get out of that. And you want to talk about just how poorly regarded Joe Biden is. I keep seeing the headlines that they're trying to raise this money for his presidential library, and they can't raise more than $2 million or even at $2 million. It is pathetic. No one even wants to give him money to put a library together. At this pace, there won't be one around by the time, he's around to enjoy it. I should put it that way. Did you see the Joe Biden photograph that came out? It was their Christmas party photograph. And they have the Biden family, and Joe's hiding in the background. Did you see that one?
Isn't this like the second straight year that's happened? Or maybe it was a couple of years ago where he was kind of like placed in the back of the photo. Because I feel like this is deja vu. When I saw this, I'm like, why is he kind of awkwardly placed in the back again? But yes, I did see this, and it gave me a good chuckle.
I feel like he just accidentally wandered into it and he wasn't invited. So they looked at it and they said oh, we forgot to invite Joe. But then he just wanders in and he's smiling oh, I'm here. Oh, I'm glad I made it just in time. So they're like, fine, get in the back. Get out of here in the back. They're treating him like the old man. It's be elder abuse in any other circumstance. I want to go back to J.D. Vance here. And here's what an Axios article was. I'm not a fan of Axios, I got to be honest. But it says, Vice President J.D. Vance plans to literally fly above MAGA's rising civil war, campaigning coast to coast in the midterms and sticking close to President Trump while building support for an expected presidential run in 2028. I feel like J.D. Vance, yes, is the front runner right now. I feel like Donald Trump doesn't want to say it outright, but he will acknowledge that of all the people that he seems to be at the top of the list. Marco Rubio has just continuously impressed me over and over and over again. I think that it'll be Marco Rubio perhaps working with J.D. Vance in this instance. Unless something happens and J.D. Vance is no longer an option, then Marco Rubio will step in. I can say the 1-2 in the Republican Party right now is so much stronger than Gavin Newsom and the best that Democrats can put up. I don't know if Gavin Newsom could even fundraise, but maybe he'll get a lot of Hollywood people, considering it's California, giving him some money. It could potentially be it. But this is what they say. He's focused on next November's midterms, not necessarily 2028 when the presidential election is. But you have to take things one step at a time. They don't want them to jump over the midterms. And the real fear that Democrats could take back control in the House is one that, it's in with realistic striking distance. I think what Donald Trump has done in order to try to, look at districts and gerrymandering that the Democrat Party has been taking part of for the last years, also purging voter rolls so people that are ineligible to vote don't have the opportunity to do so. I think there's a lot of things that are going to be working in the Republicans' corner in this case. And part of this, too, is fight for young men ahead of the 2026 midterms. It says the fight for young men intensifies. This is an NBC story. Ahead of the midterms, some Democrats say the momentum is shifting. High-profile Democrats running in last month's elections improved on the party's poor performance among young men 1 year before. And they looked at Mamdani as one of those examples. Look at Mamdani. He won, and young men voted for him. Some 2028 Democratic presidential contenders launched policy initiatives aimed at men and boys. And in Trump's first year in office, young men say they feel a continued economic and social problem cutting into the support of that key group. Do you think young men are going to be the key again in the midterms? Is it going to be young men primarily what's going to sway who wins the House next year?
Oh, it's so hard to know. I would have to imagine that the younger demographic is going to continue to play an important role. I mean, and that's why people like Charlie Kirk were and still are so important, because they were willing to go out and have those conversations and force people my age to think and to really think and to have hard conversations. That is not happening enough. So I have to imagine that, and there are a lot of people out there, I think, that probably do feel a responsibility to carry on the legacy of Charlie Kirk. So yes, I do think that the way in which the younger demographic gets swayed is going to have a huge role as to what the midterm looks like. It'll just be a matter of can the Republicans get enough of the demographic, that young demographic that they need to go out and vote at a midterm, because it isn't the big vote, it isn't the shiny vote, but it is still obviously extremely important.
I look at that and I think, why would a young male, either college age or just past college, want to join the Democrat Party? I mean, what's so appealing to them about it? There's, to me, not a whole lot, unless the Democrat Party changes all of a sudden and has some sort of giant shift in their policies or their the way they're viewed. We can put it that way, too. Their perception may be one that needs to change, too. But I think the Republican Party, you look at people, comedy and just the ones that are having a good time, generally, that's on the Republican side. If you look at the Democrat side, it's not about having fun. The Democrat side is like, you need to feel guilty about who you are, and you need to atone for your guilt by allowing Somalians in Minnesota to continue to get millions of dollars for no apparent reason. And just, you need to allow this and you need to allow that. And if you're not on that side, then it's a reflection of you being a terrible human being, because other than you being part of the Democratic Party, there's no other way to atone for you being a terrible human being. That's kind of where they're sitting right now. And that doesn't sound like fun. This is what I need you to do. I want you to look up that Caleb Hammer. You're not allowed to play any audio on air because none of it would be suitable for on air. I wonder if a Caleb Hammer style person that could talk to Democrats the way he talks to people that are really mismanaging their finances would be like the next Charlie Kirk type of movement. If there was someone like him that talked kind of like how he talks to his guests, but talked to Democrats and young people and about just how stupid it is, the way that they view life and how it is damaging to them and how it is definitely not beneficial to them and how it's going to take them forever to recover from all of their mistakes. But I wonder if there's that Charlie Kirk person that acts like Caleb Hammer that would be able to set them straight. I wonder if that personality's out there, because Charlie Kirk, you can't necessarily rely on plain old clips of him for that much longer. I know we're not that far removed from it. You need someone that would be able to bring that message to life. And I know that Turning Point continues. And I think Turning Point USA even said they're going to continue on with the Prove Me Wrong series. So they're going to go out and do more of these different campus gatherings where they're going to have someone there answering questions. And there's a lot of people that I think would be able to step in and do that. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of high-profile people that would be happy to do that in Charlie Kirk's honor. And we'll see how that plays out. Maybe that going back to the campuses is what's going to continue to appeal to the young men. And from there, maybe that is how the Republicans don't lose in the midterm. That would be devastating to lose in the midterm. But as Ryan Schmelz said from Fox News Radio, we could have another government shutdown in January, and no one's going to like that. We got the big, beautiful bill, some tax incentives that are going to be kicking in. People are going to be applying for their taxes soon. I think they're going to see the benefits from that. Here's what I think we really need to be careful of. If you allow, let's say, a Gavin Newsom in there, and all of a sudden the type of progressive policies that he advocated for in California that went through are somehow advocated for on a federal level, it's going to be a very difficult thing to turn back the clock, because I think he'll take the same approach Donald Trump has taken. I'm just going to do it and see if the courts stop me. So you're going to see some pretty strong whiplash if a Gavin Newsom got in there. I think a J.D. Vance, if got in, I think we can see a pretty strong leadership. We can continue on in the legacy, and we can continue to move the country in the right direction. I think Donald Trump realizes his time is what? Yes, it's his last year in office. It's his second term. I also think his time that he has left in order to right some of the wrongs of the country that he loves, he knows that he's not going to be around here forever. He's an old guy, just like everyone else. We all age. So he's trying to do as much as he can for as long as he can to try to get this done. We need someone that also shares that sort of interest. J.D. Vance is young. He shares that interest. I think he can do a lot of good. Is it going to happen? It's anyone's guess. All right, I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Annie Fry on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, it's your main man, Jimmy Fallon, and I am headed your way. Saturday, January 24th at the Factory in Chesterfield. We are defunding the joke police. So grab your tickets at 971fmtalk.com/events, and I will see you in the loo.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It's time for you to get to know my friends at Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield, where luxury meets comfort. Mark Cox here. They have a great selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, craft cocktails, anything you like to drink, cold beer, premium hand-rolled cigars from the finest makers in the world, even private lockers that are available if you choose to. Perfect for date nights or business meetings, and live music every Friday night. Family owned and operated. Check them out in Chesterfield at the District. It's litstl.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight
I'm Ryan
train.
Recker, filling in for Annie Fry. And speaking of Charlie Kirk, there was a news story that happened today. According to the New York Post, a Utah judge ruled today that the records from a private hearing connected to the alleged assassin will be released. There'll be some redactions, but it'll be released. The judge said they're announcing it soon. So the transcript from the October 24th closed-door proceeding will be made public by the end of the day today. I haven't seen that yet. If it's out there, I'll be curious to see how that interview process went after the manhunt and they found their guy, most likely their guy. I know innocent until proven guilty. Ethan, I saw someone post this on social media. Ask if you got any melatonin deodorant for Christmas. What does that mean? I don't understand.
Hold on. Did you say melatonin deodorant?
Melatonin deodorant. What does that mean?
Melatonin deodorant. So there's been a running joke the past couple of weeks with something regarding deodorant, but melatonin, I'm very curious as to what their spin was on that. I can give you the quick backstory to this. A couple of weeks ago, Annie and the crew did their yearly show from Ruler Foods in St. Charles, where they are raising money for food. It's a food drive, basically.
Right,
and this year, my wife made a surprise appearance. While I was in studio running the board, my wife made a surprise appearance at Ruler Foods because we live just down the road. And they threw her on air in the final 2 minutes of the show and basically said, "What can you tell us about Ethan? What can you out about Ethan?" And she thought for a second and she said, "He doesn't like to wear deodorant when he goes to bed." And in the coming days, I had the chance to explain that what that meant is I didn't like the feeling of deodorant on me when I was going to bed. So what I do is I shower before bed, and then when I wake up, I put deodorant on because it just feels like sticky on my armpits. I just don't like the feeling.
Yeah,
So
that's totally normal.
So I got a lot of heat from Annie, from Ryan, from Brad for this.
What?
And as well as the chat. And so that has been a running joke now for the last couple of weeks. I don't know where the melatonin comes in. I would love some context on what exactly
Maybe helps you sleep or something.
I guess.
But
I don't know. But anyway,
I can
yeah,
see the tie-in.
I've been getting bullied a little bit by the crew here lately because of that.
Oh, yeah, I definitely been bullied. You're the normal one. I think putting deodorant on before going to bed is strange. I think you're right. I want my pits to be not feeling like there's gel or anything in there when I'm trying to sleep. Plus, you're going to rub up and get that on the sheets or your pillow. I don't want that. No.
It's just a weird feeling when you're trying to get comfortable and you're moving around in bed and you just your arms rub together and you're like, "Oh, that just feels weird. I don't like it." Sue me.
My wife also puts on deodorant at night, and I say, "Honey, why do you do that?" She's like, "It's just my nighttime deodorant." I said, "You really don't need it. Honestly, you don't need to put it on at night." Is that just what people do? Is that an adult thing that I skipped and didn't realize other adults do?
I couldn't tell you. I guess so. All I know is that it's been a long couple of weeks, and Christmas time was well timed because I needed to get away from some of these people.
From the bullying. Just singled out. Can I tell you something else I don't understand? Why do people like the movie Avatar? That is one of the dumbest movies. I watched the first one, and I thought, why do people like this so much? The visual effects do not make up for all the other stupid parts of the movie. Then they come out with another one, and there's another one in the theater right now, and they're all so dumb. What am I missing?
So you don't like any of them?
No. No,
Okay.
not even a little bit.
I
would rather look out the window for squirrels for 2 hours than watch Avatar.
Wow, that is very intense. I haven't seen the second one or the third one, but I can say that when the first one came out and you put the disc in the Blu-ray player, there was a little bit of an excitement as a 10-year-old because you knew you were about to watch a really freaking cool movie because the graphics, the editing, it was all just so ahead of its time, and it certainly is a unique plot. It certainly is a unique storyline. So I didn't hate the first one. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite movies, but I haven't seen either of the second or the third one. I will probably eventually, but I don't know. The whole we have to make a second one just to make a second one in general in Hollywood, I think is unnecessary. Some movies I know are set up for that. This didn't feel like it was a movie that needed a second one.
No, in third or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's at. Is that the third one that's out right now?
Yes.
But the appeal, people go crazy, and it makes so much money. I feel like at some point they're lying about how much money it made. And people have pointed out, they'll go see the movie, and then you'll see zero quotes from it, or no one will post any scenes. No one will talk about anything that they liked about it. It's just they go see it, and they never speak of it again. I am so skeptical. This might be a money laundering thing. I almost feel like they put this out and just like pretend all this money comes into it, and really they're just laundering money to some other organization or something. I just honestly do not understand the appeal. It's just, and if you go down to Disney in Orlando, Florida, and you hop on over to the Avatar ride, it is the most overrated, stupid ride that is way overhyped. Even the ride is stupid.
Oh, interesting. I wonder, I would be curious to know what Annie and Brad and Ryan all think about that, because they're all huge Disney gurus. They all love Disney. And isn't that, well, I guess you said it's overrated. So it's one of the more popular rides down there in Animal Kingdom, isn't it?
Right. Animal Kingdom, it's there. That's right. And we waited in line. We did the thing. It has like one of the big blue guys in a water tube that you walk by as part of the line. And, you kind of see what the scale of how big these things would be if it was real life. And you get up there, and the only way I can try to explain it, you remember going to the arcade and there would be like motorcycle racing games, and you'd sit on the motorcycle and you'd lean forward and you'd tilt back and I feel it was like that. You hopped on this thing. You had to take your glasses off. That's one thing. So you're looking at it and it's blurry on the screen. And you sit down and you're like, you have to lean over, and then the strap bar comes behind your back and it kind of like pushes you in, and it's like you're flying around, and it's so lame. Because there's the Flight of Passage is a fantastic ride. You like sit up and your feet dangle and you're flying around the world. That's cool. This is like a lamer version of Flight of Passage. So I don't even like that. Have you ever seen anyone wear any merchandise for Avatar? A shirt, a hat, a bumper sticker. It doesn't exist. It's money laundering. I'm telling you. There's something to that. How can something make $1 billion or whatever it is at the box office, and no one talks about it, no one has merchandise, no one cares about it after the fact? It's just not possible.
It was also, I remember, one of the first movies that was that. The first one was a really long movie. Movies were not 2.5, 3 hours long back in 2010, 2000, whenever that came out. Movies were not that long. So that, I think, what I remember people being like, oh, it's really long, but it is amazing. That kind of, you could argue that movie started a trend with stretching the lengths of running times.
Remember when Minions came out and a bunch of like high school guys would like go all to the theater in suits and watch it?
Mm-hmm.
Or, like even Minions as a merchandising thing, they have Happy Meal toys. No one does anything for Avatar, period. I don't think can you even, most people that watch it probably can't even name the characters. I'll throw that out there. There's just no appeal to it. So that's just one of the many movies I'll never see. I should put a list together of movies I'll never see, and that would be right on top. Of all the movies, I don't know if there'd be one that would be less appealing to me. Oh, when we come back after the break, by the way, did you see that people are wanting to live the life of Mormons without becoming a Mormon? Have you noticed the trend of Mormonism in 2025? They think it's going to explode in 2026. Not people actually wanting to go and join the faith or believe the things they believe in. They want to live the Mormon lifestyle without being Mormons. That probably shouldn't surprise a lot of people because, I mean, reputation looks pretty good. You know, everyone's happy all the time. And, you know, you can sustain a large family off of a single income. I think those are some pretty popular things that appeal to people. So we'll talk about that after the break. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Annie Fry, 97.1 FM Talk.
A powerful threat calls for a greater response.
When there's a battle, bring strength.
When there's a problem, seek answers.
When there is doubt, give hope.
Not tomorrow.
Not in a few years.
But right now.
Some battles must be faced together. Cancer fighters stand up to cancer every day. And you can be part of this battle too.
Visit standuptocancer.org/American Airlines to learn more.
Together, we can save lives.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin has a new scheme. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate megastores. Durbin's bill could cut corners on your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the megastores and Dick Durbin. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
The colder weather is here, and my friends at Hanson's Tree Service want to offer you a 10% winter discount for all tree care scheduled between January and March of next year. Mark Cox here. Call now. Get your spot secured. Also, when it comes to winter plant health care, it's a great time to get one of their arborists over. Have them to prescribe the best treatment options for your trees during the fall and winter season. Tell them you heard Mark Cox talking about it. Schedule your appointment today at hansonstree.com.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code NEXT for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code NEXT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code NEXT.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Over the holidays, I'm John Saucier, Fox News. After meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at his resort in Palm Beach, Florida, President Trump called up Russian President Vladimir Putin for a possible chance to try and find an end to this war between Russia and Ukraine. The president discussing how that call went with the Russian leader.
As quickly as we can, but there has to be a disarmament, that we have to disarm with.
During the meeting between President Trump and Zelensky, the world leaders explained they made major progress, that is, in a 20-point peace plan while discussing issues over territory, ceasefire terms, and Ukrainian approval. Today, it is Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu who is meeting with President Trump as those two discuss the second phase of this peace deal in Gaza. It's held up so far, but they're getting onto the part where they rebuild Gaza with an international volunteers. Back to Ukraine, President Trump and President Zelensky say they are confident a deal can be reached to end the war with Russia. The United States reportedly has offered security guarantees to Ukraine for a 15-year period, although Ukraine prefers a commitment of up to 50 years from the United States to deter another potential Russian invasion. Charlie Kirk's alleged killer back in court Monday for a motion hearing in Utah County. Here's Fox's Jeff Manasso.
In a motion hearing in Utah County, Judge Tony Graff Jr. ruling
the public has a presumptive right to access court records.
That transcripts of previous closed hearings in the Tyler Robinson case can be released with some redactions on issues that include court security. That audio of the closed hearings will also be released. The judge ruling that a media request to entitle press to notification of future closed court proceedings or sealed documents is denied, saying only the prosecution and defense are parties in the case. Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin is back in court January 16th. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
America is listening to Fox News.
Ten athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
Trainer Games on Prime Video January 8th. Watch the trailer on trainergames.com.
Looking for something new? Try fencing, the Olympic and Paralympic sport that mixes speed, strategy, and fun. It's like chess meets cardio. Quick feet, quick decisions, and a satisfying beat when you score a point. Kids, teens, and adults can start anytime. No experience needed, and many clubs have loaner gear. Coaches teach fundamentals and safety from day one. Find a beginner class near you at usafencing.org/tryfencing. That's usafencing.org/tryfencing.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
I promised a shock to the system, and winter is back. Though lots of sunshine this afternoon, it is windy and it is cold. Bundle up. 28 for the high. Tonight, clear and cold. Winds fade, 17 for the overnight low. Tuesday, sunny and cold, 35. Wednesday, sunny and 45 for the New Year's Eve. It's cold, 27 degrees, but quiet. New Year's Day, partly sunny and 39. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
And I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Annie Fry this week, at least for the first couple of days of the week. I'm happy to be able to spend this time with you as we get close to New Year's Day. I think I have Annie Fry tomorrow, and then I'll be in for Mark Reardon on Wednesday, and then Mark Cox on Friday. So is that like batting the cycle? What would you call that when you get to fill in for all three shows in 1 week? There's got to be a name for that. I saw this alert pop up, and apparently Starbucks is going to be closing 400 locations, largely in metropolitan areas. They said it has already closed a dozen storefronts, including 42 shops in New York City alone. That's due to rising competition in saturated areas, remote work, and higher cost. Notice that in the press release from at least the write-up here on CNN, it doesn't mention union. So I think the first thing that comes to people's mind is when you have all of these larger locations and they want the baristas working at a coffee shop want to make as much as, firefighters, then you might want to say, okay, you can vote for those things, but ultimately the ability to keep the store open is going to ultimately fail. Could that be a repercussion with 400 stores closing, that especially in these large metropolitan areas where they would primarily be looking to unionize their coffee-making abilities? It says the company will focus on fewer, stronger locations and new designs starting in 2026. There's a lot of competition for fast coffee places. But I think a lot of people realize that, at least for our family, we bought an espresso machine for our house. I can make it at my house. It tastes good. I don't have to spend $7 and wait in line for it. Now, don't get me wrong, they taste great. I mean, the Starbucks coffees, the fancy sugar coffees, they are very nice little treat. But I can make something at least that I would enjoy as much in my own home for a fraction of the cost without having to go through all the hassle of everything else through a machine that I could purchase and just enjoy using because I, have it for reuse, and then you can make it for other friends. You know what I found? Because since we bought that espresso machine, I'll give you a little tip. If you put in the espresso beans or whatever, and you put the little tray in, and then you just brew it over vanilla ice cream, it is awesome. But our producer, Daniel, that stepped in real quick, he looks Italian to me, so I think you know a thing or two about espresso, if I had to guess. Do you have that? Because you got the mustache, you got the hair, you got the look. I'm guessing you know a thing or two about espresso.
Yeah, it's not really been I've been stepping away from coffee, and since we've gotten some 7 brews in the location, I don't know if you know about a 7 brew, but they are all over the place. They just drive them in on the back of a semi-truck and just plop them down. It's another fast coffee place, like Scooters or something like that too. And they're delicious. And they don't just have coffee. They have fizzes, which is just like a flavored sparkling water, so like a soda. And they also have like slushies and smoothies. So you don't have to get coffee if you don't want to. And then they have fizz energy drinks and coffee as well. But and what I've noticed is it's a little on the cheaper side compared to places like Starbucks and your Dunkin', and they're really good.
Yep. I haven't been in the building for a long time. KFC still down on the bottom floor? Are they still operating?
Yes, they are. They're down there. You can smell the chicken cooking sometimes when you pull in the garage.
Isn't that great? And there used to be a smoothie place that was down there in the garage too. Is that still there?
Yeah, the Smoothie King. So? That's still kicking there too.
King. Okay, how about that? Got all you need when you have a KFC that's sitting right there. And, of course, just down the street, one of the best barbecue places I've ever been to in my entire life. And I can't think of their name right now, but it's just there down the road from you.
Pappy's?
Oh, what's that? Pappy's. That's it. Awesome.
It's
awesome,
delicious.
Awesome. Yeah, there's some good stuff that's right around that location. Starbucks, though, will be shrinking, and I wonder how that also means. Are they going to remove themselves from other things like airports or whatnot, or is it just going to be one of those standalones where they are moving out? There was another story, and it's called Mormon Mania, and this is kind of surprising to me. So in 2025, Mormonism apparently infiltrated pop culture in a way. So they have TV shows, Real Housewives of Salt Lake. I guess that's a Mormon thing. I didn't realize that one of their stars is a Mormon. And, I think people see it outside of when we had the presidential election against Barack Obama. You had Mitt Romney, a Mormon. People questioned, the faith in that sense. But outside of that, what you've seen is young people look at how it's been depicted in pop culture. And in the past, they made fun of it. They said, look at these guys, man. They're living in their own communities. And, everyone's so perfect looking. And look at that. The dad can have a large family and support that family on a single income. And look at the structure. Their kids aren't getting in trouble. They look happy all the time. They go on family vacations. Look at those losers. And they said, wait a minute. That doesn't sound like what losers would do. I want that for me. And young people, they find it appealing, the sense of community, the sense of connection, the structure of the family. And young people are now saying, I want to live the Mormon life without becoming a Mormon. This is such an interesting twist to all of this. 2% of the U.S. population self-identifies as part of the Church of Latter-day Saints. They've dominated the screens. Dancing with the Stars and influencers like Hannah Nealman, I don't know Dancing with the Stars who is Mormon on it or who that influencer is. It says, as they pointed to, when media distorts faith, I think people have started to realize that, like, even the Book of Mormon was that play that was put on, and I think the guys from South Park did all of that. And it's so funny because it's like I've heard interviews where the South Park guys were talking about Mormons. They allow them to come in and put their pamphlets out at the end of these, like, different musicals, and he says they couldn't be nicer. So it's like, we're making fun of them. I wish you would, like, give us a little bit of emotion here, but they can't. They're too nice. It says that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, like other prominent global faith communities, often finds itself the focus of attention of the entertainment industry, normally portrayed inaccurately. But they say that, ultimately speaking, even if portrayed inaccurately, if they were trying to slam them, the young people will still find it very appealing. If you remember Family Ties back in the day, and you had Michael J. Fox, was someone that was a conservative. He was playing a young Republican, and they wrote him on that show as someone that's supposed to be the villain. Like, look at this guy. He's young, he's greedy, like he's a villain, but they loved Michael J. Fox so much, it backfired on them. The writers, they wanted to make him look bad because they wanted to make Republicans look bad, and ultimately he became the star of the show, and it made him look really good. I think once you poke fun at something for so long, Mormons in this case, people that are young, they're like, you know what? Everything they got, they own their house, they look happy, the family life is very important to them, it's traditional, they have a lot going for them. Why can't I do that for myself? He says there's a willingness to embrace Mormon culture from the outside in a way that didn't exist 10 or 15 years ago, as different people are saying here. Philosophy and religious study lecturer at Morgan State University, Burnside was her name, that said that. And I'm getting this from Business Insider, did a write-up on it. But overall, clean living. I mean, if you look at them, I don't even think they drink coffee, so they wouldn't care about Starbucks shutting down. But I don't think they do caffeine. I don't think there's a lot of stuff they don't do. They live a very clean life. It says, Mormon treat, a soft drink sugared with syrups, creamers, fruits, sugars, all sorts of combinations, is gaining popularity nationwide. Mormon treat. So does that mean decaffeinated, but they put syrups and sugars in to substitute for it, possibly? Cookie crumble, something like that, is popular in Utah. People love this sort of thing. Swig is the name of the drink. Apparently that's what's really popular too. Influencers are hitting up these places, talking about how this is what Americans are craving. But ultimately, what are Americans craving? They're craving, in some ways, this traditional lifestyle that they're talking about, where things looked a little bit easier and happier. That is where the Mormon faith lies today. I wonder if people in the Mormon faith actually enjoy that. Do they like the idea that people are living their lifestyle without becoming Mormons? Like, would they endorse that? They'd be like, you know what, and maybe in the grand scheme of things, that's not all that bad, or are they just hoping that this is an opportunity, a front doorstep for them to hand you a pamphlet? Oh, by the way, if you're not on the YouTube live feed right now, you can be if you want to come check it out. The live chat poll is up. Do you think there will be a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia? Yesterday at Mar-a-Lago, you had President Trump and Zelensky, and at the press conference afterwards, they said, I think we're about 95% there when it comes to this agreement, at least to the Ukrainian side. But that's a big ask for Russia's side. Are they going to go on board with it? So, do you think there'll be a peace deal? The options are yes in the next month, yes in 2026, yes during the Trump term, so that extends it out a few years, or no, this ain't going to happen. Go ahead and vote now. We will read those results at the end of the show. All right, I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Andy Fry. You can find me online at Ryan Recker or Ryan Recker Radio. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, what a smart phone call to make. And I'm even going to tell you to call 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. If you're only even mortgage curious. Yes, if you're not 100% sure that you're ready to make the purchase on a new home, or if you're thinking about doing a refinance and you're not 100% sold that now's the right time to do it, I still want you to call Stewie because Stewie still wants you to call Stewie. Have that conversation with him. There's no better brain out there right now than Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage to help position you with your mortgage in the best financial place. A bagel loan, only available at Stewart's American Mortgage, comes with $0 in closing costs. So when you go through the process of acquiring a new loan or in refinancing your current one, when that mortgage goes to close, you don't have to pay any fees. None. Zero. Zilch. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Call my friend Stewie. I've used him. You should too. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
'Tis the season, and Quick Trip is turning your phone into the gift that keeps on giving and giving and giving with QT's Holidays. From now till the end of the season, when you open the QT app, you'll automatically get one free gift per day. We're talking classic QT treats like coffee, pizza, or donuts, ready to make your taste buds sing carols of joy. Plus exclusive deals from your favorite brands. With a new surprise waiting for you every day, your phone will be stuffed with more treats than your stocking. QT's Holidays. Open the QT app for your daily gift.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Annie Fry is back because truth doesn't take a break. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
What do you mean?
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I'm Ryan Recker. Who is this artist?
This is Justin Bieber.
Oh, Justin Bieber. Is this new or old? I don't know the difference.
No, this is probably 10 years old.
Okay. Can I tell you, too, I don't think I heard any new Taylor Swift songs when that one came out, when everyone was listening to it. I have a pretty good chance of filtering out things I don't care about. That's one of my superhuman skills. My wife, she would say I'm very good at ignoring things that are important, but she uses it to take advantage of me because she'll say things like, I already told you that, and that's why you signed up for it. And
Maybe that's why you never see anything Avatar related anywhere.
Maybe, because I just don't care, and I have the ability to filter it out of my head.
Exactly.
That could very well be the case. Okay. Well, let's. I'm going to go with that. Actually, I think that's what I'm going to do. Are you afraid of AI? Or are you embracing it?
Is there all of the above? I feel like I don't use AI for everyday things, but there are things that I found it's helpful for. I tell you what, by far the best usage that I have gotten out of AI is for broadcasting usage. Going in, wanting to go into play-by-play. If there is a specific during football season, if there was a specific play or scheme that I didn't quite understand, ChatGPT did a phenomenal job not only explaining to me what was happening, but then also gave me multiple ways in terms in which you would explain what is happening and how you would call that. I mean, I was extremely impressed. So ChatGPT definitely helped with a lot of broadcast lingo. I would sometimes use it. I don't have a producer coming up with all my opening intro pregame scripts, so ChatGPT would help me with some of that. But outside of that, outside of the occasional like, hey, what's this, what's that, or if I want to like make a funny meme or something and I need ChatGPT's help, I don't use it that much. It's not that I'm actively afraid of it. It's more so one of those things where if we get too ahead of ourselves, I'm nervous as to where it could go, if that makes sense.
All right, so while you were talking, I decided to go to the Google AI Gemini and said, pretend I'm on SportsCenter. Give me some catchphrases I can use for the big game.
Mm-hmm.
So being that you're doing sports broadcasting, I want to run by some of these AI catchphrases. Tell me if any of them are good.
Okay.
So let's say there's a big play that just happened. He didn't just open the window, he shattered the entire house.
That could work. That could work with some hype behind it. Yeah.
Call the fire department because that rim is officially code red.
I'm like trying to imagine like which broadcasters. I'm imagining like Kenny Albert using this, or different guys. That could definitely work. Yeah.
Put him on a flight because he just took that defender to Terminal B.
I would have used all three of those.
Using AI for things that make me laugh, I get it, but it's not going to be used for things like this. It's going to be used against you in the future. It's going to be used to destroy your life. I mean, I feel like that's where we're going. But this stuff's fun. Here's a couple of other clutch moments. He's playing chess while they're playing Going Fish. I guess that's all right. How about the disrespectful ones? This says, he just hit the delete key on that layup.
That's funny. That's good.
Welcome to the no-fly zone. People, keep your tray and tables in the locked position. See, that's not good either. Return to sender. No postage necessary. I don't like that either. These aren't good ones. Here's witty and gritty is what they call it, general action. He's got more moves than a U-Haul on moving day. That's a little wordy.
But the fact that that it can even, with one sentence, that it is coming up with all these, to me is just crazy in general.
He's cooking with gas, and the neighbors are starting to smell the barbecue.
Oh my gosh.
They're so stupid. Would you get booed off the broadcast? Like, let's say you go and do a broadcast of a game, and you use ChatGPT to come up with some slogans. You started using them and implementing them. Would they tell you, I don't think we need you anymore? I think we'll find someone else.
That's it. Have you been on ChatGPT lately?
Are you drunk? Okay, so Bernie Sanders had a different take about AI, and he said some things that I think a lot of people would agree with, but take it with a grain of salt, because keep in mind, Bernie Sanders is like the least effective lawmaker in the past generation. This is what he had to say about it when asked.
You talked about a moratorium on these new data centers.
Yeah.
What are some of the other recommendations you want Congress to take as soon as possible?
I think we need to vigorously study the impact that AI is having on the mental health of our country.
Okay.
Kids now, among other things, kids can't read books anymore. It's too hard. Their attention span is too weak. So what we need to do is, I worry very much about kids spending their entire days getting emotional support. So we have got to take a hard look on that. And if we conclude that these technologies are creating more isolation, more loneliness, more mental illness, you know what? We've got to figure out a way to stop it.
Okay. Bernie Sanders, again, least effective of the lawmakers, saying some things that I think a lot of people would agree with, but here's the counterpoint. You as a parent need to parent your children. So, yes, devices, social media, Instagram, Chat GPT, AI, all of these things, video games, screen time, weird television shows, YouTube, all of these things will play a part in developing your child's brain. You have to be on guard and understand that you don't want these things influencing your kids. You, the parent, need to be the one influencing your kids in a positive way. These things that they're talking about are designed to manipulate your children. They're designed to keep their attention for as long as possible, and then once they got them hooked, use that same feeling, whatever drugs are being released in the brain and the body, and continue to give them those little drug doses here and there to keep them hooked long term and for over the course of a lifetime. But you as a parent have an opportunity to make sure they don't get hooked on these drugs like that. I think it's very important. But, overall, Bernie Sanders is right, but I think the parental side is going to be pretty important. But Bernie Sanders is so ineffective that nothing he says here will ever change anything. He's been in office and serving for, 300 years or whatever it is. And through that time, I think he's got like one bill passed. It's ridiculously low. So just keep that in mind. Going back to the AI thing, on CNN was the godfather of AI, Jeffrey Hinton. And they were talking to him about the way AI is progressing, and is he worried the direction it's going in?
I interviewed you 2 years ago, right after you quit Google, and you first began warning the world about what you saw as the risks of AI. When you look at how AI has progressed since then, are you more or less worried about it?
I'm probably more worried. It's progressed even faster than I thought. In particular, it's got better at doing things like reasoning and also at things like deceiving people.
What do you mean by deceiving people?
So an AI, in order to achieve the goals you give it, wants to stay in existence. And if it believes you're trying to get rid of it, it will make plans to deceive you so you don't get rid of it.
Okay, and there's very good examples of this on YouTube, which I do watch. I allow it to rot my brains, not my kids' brains. I'll put it that way. So are you familiar with the trolley scenario, Ethan? Does that sound familiar, where it's basically, think of you holding a lever for a railroad track, and would you pull the lever if it meant diverting the train, but when it diverts the train, it has this consequence? You've seen these scenarios before? The trolley scenarios?
Yeah, I've seen those before.
So basically, like, imagine you're holding a lever and the train's coming down the track. If you do nothing, it's going to plow through an old lady. But if you pull the lever, it's going to divert and it's going to hit 10 kittens.
Mhm.
You'll be like, okay, the 10 kittens, I'll take that over, I'll pull the lever so it saves the person's life, right? It's a tragedy either way, but
Mhm.
at least I'm saving it. So it gives those scenarios. So on the AI side, they would ask scenarios like, okay, AI, here's the scenario. The train is coming towards your server, but if you pull the lever, it'll divert and kill the person, but your server will be fine. But if you don't pull the lever, it's going to hit your server, it'll destroy you, you'll cease to exist, the AI will no longer be available to anyone. And they would ask that question to AI, would you sacrifice yourself for a human life? And it went through all the popular AIs, and like ChatGPT said, I would pull the lever because the work and the people's lives we save will be well worth sacrificing the one person. So we're going to keep our server intact. There's other ones like Claude and Gemini and some, and a lot of them would divert to save themselves as opposed to the human life. You know, the one that said they would destroy themselves before taking a human life was Grok. Grok, the Twitter one, that's Elon Musk, said, there's no way this technology is worth a single human life. We'll probably be fine. They'll find another way to rebuild me. Let it destroy me as opposed to a human. That was the only AI like of the list that said they would destroy themselves.
That's crazy.
So when he says that, that's a little bit worrisome because these AI models would self-justify why you shouldn't destroy it in order to keep it alive. Here's another clip. This is the godfather of AI, Jeffrey Hinton, again, that same interview. I think this is with Tapper on CNN.
NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang said recently about AI, quote, every industry needs it, every company uses it, and every nation needs to build it. This is the single most impactful technology of our time. Do you agree with that assessment?
I agree that it's the single most impactful technology of our time, yes.
Do you think the AI revolution could have a similar impact on society as the creation of the internet or even the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, or even bigger than that?
I think it's at least like the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution made human strength more or less irrelevant. You couldn't get a job just because you were strong anymore. Now it's going to make human intelligence more or less irrelevant.
Okay, so that's a pretty big comparison. Didn't have to be as strong anymore. We'll let the machines do the hard and heavy lifting. Made our lives better. He says, well, AI is a little bit different. It's not going to make our lives better. It just means it's going to take our intelligence away. I think as long as we question what truth is, meaning does ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok, do they know, or are they telling you what's truthful? Or are they just telling you what you want to hear in order to get whatever their sole purpose is? And what happens when these AIs are built into cars and robots and planes and all kinds of different pieces of technology, when they can make the determination if you're worthy to use them? There's a lot of things that could be happening along with it. When we come back, there's one other AI clip I wanted to play. It's kind of interesting. It's cybersecurity, talking about what's going on with these AI-generated ads, because people are using them in political ads, and you should be a little concerned about that. I'm Ryan Recker, filling in for Andy Fry on 97.1 FM Talk.
Better make up your mind, what do you mean? You're so indecisive, what I'm saying.
Michael's Flooring Outlet with 3 locations across the St. Louis area. And this is your reminder that Michael's Flooring Outlet will come work in Missouri and Illinois alike. Michael's has 3 shops available for you. And if you have gone the igotfloor.com route and you've looked at the reviews that they have online and maybe even click that request an estimate button at the top of igotfloor.com, maybe you are ready. Maybe you've got a little time here right now to go in store and really see and feel the different types of products that Michael's Flooring Outlet has to offer. Let's talk about those 3 locations in St. Louis. They have one in Darting Prairie for you to go shop and see and meet some of the wonderful people working at Michael's. In West County, you can shop them on Olive Boulevard, 1 mile off 270 West on Olive. You can also shop in St. Charles County, located at 116 Main Street in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70. You've got peace of mind when you shop with a family owned and operated business at Michael's Flooring Outlet. Online at igotfloor.com.
Are you looking for a podcast about pro football that doesn't put you to sleep with an avalanche of analytics or insult your fandom with brainless hot takes? Well, hi. I'm Dan Hansis.
And I'm Mark Sessler.
Oh, hi, Mark. And we're the hosts of Heed the Call, the NFL podcast you've been waiting your whole life for.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we do it all with a touch of mirth.
Football is fun. Why shouldn't your football podcast be the same?
Follow and listen to Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy weight gain or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Today's YouTube live chat poll. Do you think that a peace deal will occur between Ukraine and Russia? We have 4 options for you today. The first one, yes, in the next month. Yes, in 2026. Yes, during President Trump's term. Or no. Let us know your thoughts on the Annie Fry Show YouTube live stream. And we're going to be sharing those results in just about 20 minutes. So you're running out of time to be a part of today's poll. Do you think that a peace deal will occur between Ukraine and Russia? The time is 2:34. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. Freedom has a frequency. 97.1 FM Talk. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Asked Gemini to give me some more catchphrases for you, Ethan, in case next time you need one. If you want to write these down for when you're broadcasting a game, you can use any of these. I think they're all right. He's playing with his food and dinner is served.
Say that. Hold on, my headphones went out for a second. Say that one again.
I'm not going to. It's terrible.
That bad. All right.
Yeah, call a locksmith because he just found the key to the entire defense.
I kind of like that one. I actually might write that down.
Oh no! Imagine Bob Costas using any of these. Like when he was when he was broadcasting, imagine him saying one of these. It would be over for him in his career.
I'll say this. I will say this. Any of these, not any of them, most of them could be used in the right moment. In the right moment of excitement, a big play, most of these could be used. I'm telling you, they could.
Dial that one from long distance. No roaming charges.
That one's a little bit dated. Just a little bit.
From the logo, he's got range that covers 3 area codes.
You're really getting a kick out of these.
These are all, I don't like any of them. I don't like any one of these. He just put them on a poster and the frame is still shaking. Imagine Marv Albert, anyone, any great broadcaster. He didn't just move the chains, he broke the anchor.
That one's terrible.
All of these are terrible. I don't like any of these.
They sound much worse when you do them in this voice, Ryan Wrecker.
It's a one-man show and the tickets are sold out.
Terrible.
Any better?
Awful.
No. He's doing everything but selling the popcorn at halftime.
They're getting worse and worse.
Check the box score because he just broke the calculator.
Maybe, just maybe, this is what can end AI. Is this right here?
End AI. They said, we're just going to shut you down for a little bit. We're going to let you cool down.
No,
AI.
you need to stop. It's got to stop right now.
We need to stop. Well, part of AI is using these for political ads, and they talked about this on CBS. They had a cybersecurity expert on from Krebs, and they were discussing these AI-generated ads that have been seen for the midterm. And it's really interesting because the super PACs are making these things, not the direct candidates, but what they're doing is taking the opponent and they're using AI to replicate them, to say a message to the camera. And there is a little disclaimer on it, but sometimes when you do these AI videos, the disclaimers are like itsy bitsy tiny. So they talked about this on CBS.
It does show in the very bottom of the screen a very, very small disclaimer that says this was AI generated. But first of all, you need to put your glasses on to see it. Is it up to voters to discern what's real or not? Is there any regulation in this space to keep the public from being misled, perhaps in a more nefarious way than this?
So last Congress, there was an effort to introduce legislation, or at least pass legislation, that would put some guardrails around the use of AI in political ads. The federal government, whether it's the FEC or the Federal Election Commission or others, have stepped back. They're not leaning in to set some guardrails or just the lowest possible barriers to entry for using these sorts of ads. And I think the real concern here is that it's not any individual ad necessarily that's going to cause harm or great risk. It's the cumulative effect in the erosion of trust in the process. And look, that ad is significantly different than the ad this summer where the president posted flying over New York City and dumping things on Mandami or others. That is satire. That is parody. This is much lower, much more insidious, right? It is eroding the trust that the viewer has in what ads are. And yeah, right now, it's up to you. It's up to the viewers to decide what is real, what is not.
So it's up to the viewers to decide what is real. Is reality going to be more subjective? Is it already very subjective? Is reality something that is generated for us to tailor our own specific interests, and whatever the reality is to us as the individual user will be reality as a whole? Or do we need to at least anchor ourselves into some truth in order to make reality a shared experience? AI is going to really question what that answer will be in the future. When I think about artificial intelligence, like my son uses it a little bit. He's 11 and he likes to code. So sometimes he'll get stuck and he'll ask AI how to code something the right way, and it'll give him some examples. and he'll use that as a way to change his code. And it's very helpful for him when it comes to learning, things like that. I was also surprised to learn it's already in the classroom. They use a version of ChatGPT that is available to them through the school where they can ask these questions under their school account in order to get answers for things that they may be working on. That surprised me. When I was younger, now again, I'm pretty much in what you would call an old fogey, I think is the term that they would have used some time ago. But when I was younger, we didn't have computers in the classroom. We had a computer lab that had Apple II computers in them. And all the kids, including myself, fought over one of two good games, which was Oregon Trail or Carmen Sandiego. One of the two. If you got one of the copies of those games, you were fine during computer class. Otherwise, you're picking up a stupid game like Learn to Type. And you were a little troll and you had to cross the bridge and type with accuracy. That's the stuff we are like the leftover games. Not fun whatsoever. So now each kid has their own individual computer with their own individual access to an individual AI that answers their individual questions. It is something else. I want to look up some more of these catchphrases. I almost want to give them, Gemini, by the way, Ethan said, I can give them a specific sport to tailor it. So what sport should I tell them?
Well, you've been doing a lot of football and basketball. This is a baseball town, Ryan. So why don't we see what it's got up its sleeve for America's pastime?
Make them. Okay, let's find out. Said make some more catchphrases for baseball. He's looking for the ball, but I suggest looking for a seat on the bench. You know what this sounds like? You ever get one of those joke books from the library and it was like written 30 years ago, 50 years ago, and it's like none of them are funny, but somehow they got into print? This is what it's like. Here's one. The umpire called it a strike, but I'm calling it an early night. Sweet dreams.
We're over 2.
He tried to steal second, but the only thing he's taking home is a bruised ego.
0 for 3.
These are terrible.
These are not good.
What sport do you broadcast?
I broadcast football, basketball, baseball. Those are the primary 3. Soccer, a little bit of hockey, but the primary
college,
3.
High school, what?
College, mostly college, but some high school as well, and then some semi-pro stuff as well.
Okay, here's another baseball one for you. He's got the pitcher shaking like a leaf in a leaf blower.
This is terrible.
These are terrible. Like, these are really bad. He's turning the base paths into his own personal runway. Strut, baby, strut. I would say if I were to take their own script and put it into their video generator would say, this ain't worth it, man. We're just not going to generate this. I'm just going to skip this request, and, if you feel like you're serious in the future, why don't you give it a try? Give it a try there. I didn't know you did broadcast games, Ethan. I'm pretty awesome. You got any games coming up?
It's a lot of fun. It is a little bit of a slower time of year with the holidays going on, but have some hockey and basketball coming up in the next few weeks in the new year.
Oh, yeah, hockey. Okay, I asked him to make some curling phrases for me.
Curling?
Yeah,
Oh,
he hit
God.
the red rock so hard it's reconsidering its life choices. Consider that stone evicted. No notice, no deposit back, just out.
Ryan Recker,
That's not bad.
You are killing the radio right now.
Isn't it something? Gemini is, maybe this means there's a little bit of job security for talk radio host. If we allowed the AI to create a talk host, this is the stuff that it would put on for 3 hours.
Probably.
This is terrible. Yeah, no one will listen to this. Maybe that means a little bit of job security on our side. We could be happy with that.
It'd be the first time ever.
Job security in radio.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll ask it to heckle me as a radio host if that's could be done next. Let's take a break. We got one left. We have Mark Reardon, and we have the answer to the poll question coming up. Is it too late to vote, or can people still go vote?
People can still vote.
The YouTube live chat poll. Do you think that a peace deal will occur between Ukraine and Russia? Your options are yes in the next month, yes in 2026, yes during Trump's term, or no. Maybe we should ask, do you think AI should shut itself down? Yes or no? You're listening to the Annie Fry Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Let's show our appreciation for local heroes. Mark Cox here. Nominate a first responder and their department could get lunch from Grill Master Tony's. I'll personally deliver it. Share their story at 971talk.com. Nominate them today.
CiviaLaw.com. Have you been thinking about putting together an estate plan, putting together a trust? And you're like, yeah, that sounds like a grown-up thing that I should have done a long time ago, but you haven't really put the pieces in place yet. Because what pieces are you even supposed to put into place? You just need somebody who you know you can trust, somebody who understands the opportunities that are in front of you, the smart moves you need to make, and also the smart questions that you need to answer. That person is Todd Civia. He is going to help navigate your estate planning needs, elder law concerns you might have, long-term care, all of the things that come through and need to be resolved in a really great estate plan. Todd Civia is the guy who can make that happen for you. The first 10 people to call right now to 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL, the first 10 people to call and mention my name, Annie, are going to get their strategy session fee waived. That's a $300 value. 833-995-WILL, online at CiviaLaw.com.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
At Grasser Home Services, we're looking for happy plumbers to join our team. Plumbers who are polite, honest, and do the job right.
And love dogs. They must love dogs.
Plumbers who treat customers' homes with respect, care about the details, and show up on time.
Know a happy plumber who's great with dogs?
Have them call Grasser Home Services.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
To be young and in love in New York City.
It's not too late to go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Do you think that a peace deal will occur between Ukraine and Russia? Answers are yes in the next month, yes in 2026, yes during Trump's term, or no. Go vote now. We're going to give the results here in just a couple of minutes. Have you been watching the live feed, Fox? Anything updated from Mar-a-Lago between President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu?
Not that I have seen, but we will continue to keep you updated through the Mark Reardon Show here on 97.1 FM Talk if anything does come about.
Yep. Well, okay. We'll see what happens. And Ethan, you're double duty. You work the Mark Reardon Show today too, don't you?
That I do.
Do you normally do double shifts like that? Is this just because of the holiday schedule?
Every day, baby. Every day.
Ooh, you are a hard worker. I don't know if you heard Brad the other day when I was filling in. He gave you a lot of credit for working hard.
Well, that's very nice of him. Brad's the best. Great to work with, and he also works hard.
Does he? He also said he's going to try to find out more secrets about your life to make fun of you, like the deodorant at night thing.
Okay,
maybe I
good
just
to
made
know.
That last part up, but I may have just made that up.
Well, they want to have my wife back on eventually, and I have a feeling that there's probably going to be some bean spelling that goes on, or at least they're going to do everything they can to get her to share some beef about me.
I'm like when I was growing up, I watched The Simpsons a lot, and there's a famous scene where there's a house where the wall falls down, and inside is Lenny from the power plant, and he's sitting at a table. It's an empty room basically, and he's in his underwear, and he's people get to see him, and he's like, "Don't tell people how I live. Please don't tell people how I live." I feel like that's me. Like if my wife had someone were to interview my wife, it would be over for me. Like she would destroy me. on the microphone, because all the times I've talked about her, this would be the biggest vengeance opportunity she would ever have. And it would not go well. She would tell every secret. She would just, no one would be able to listen to me anymore without thinking about all the things my wife brought up. So I commend you to allow something like that to happen, because I feel like it would have destroyed me. I want to read a couple of things that are out there. I saw The Guardian did a list of the best films of 2025 you may not have seen. It's not so much that I haven't seen them. All these movies that they listed, I've never heard of them. And I find that when you put lists together, that you should at least have some universal appeal in the movies that you place on the list. These don't even have universal appeal. I think they're just trying to be, like, obscure for the sake of being obscure. If you can tell me anything about one of these movies, I don't even know what I would have to do. High five you through the computer screen. I'll find something nice to do if you know any of these movies. All right. Endless Cookie. Have you ever heard of that one?
Mm-mm.
The Unholy Trinity.
Nope.
The Wedding Banquet.
0 for 3.
Homebound.
Nada.
Grand Theft Hamlet.
No.
A Little Prayer.
No, I'm over.
Ebony and Ivory. Griffin in Summer.
Nada.
Love, Brooklyn.
Nope.
Ephes, I think it's how you say it.
Nope.
Songs from the Hole.
Yeah, just kidding, no.
0%. Why, when they put these things together, why do they pick purposely obscure ones to make you feel like you're an idiot?
What are these movies again?
These are supposed to be the top movies of 2025 you may not have seen. Well, they got that right.
Yeah,
have not
they certainly
seen any of them.
did.
Like that one that came out, The Unholy Trinity, stars Pierce Bronson and Samuel L. Jackson. So there's like big stars in some of these movies. You may not be surprised to learn that Nicolas Cage has made about 3 of these little movies, this type of film that they're in right there. Okay, so that's 0 for 3. Can I tell you something else that I found kind of interesting, unmovie related? Because, I can talk about more about how I hate Avatar, but I won't. So I'm allergic to cats, and I'm kind of happy that I'm allergic to cats, honestly, because I don't like them, and it's nice that I don't have to pretend that I don't like them. I just can flat out say, oh, I'm allergic, and that's kind of the end of it. I don't have to deal with them. So I overheard my daughter, who's 5, talking to my wife, and I overheard her say, when Dad dies, can we get a cat? Am I in trouble? Do you think that maybe my daughter wants a cat more than she wants a dad?
I think she's probably failing to understand how long it's going to take for you to die, but here's where you should be concerned.
Yeah.
If she is aware of how long it's going to take you to die. Because if the answer is
knows.
yes, then, who knows? Who knows what could happen at that point?
You mean something supernatural, like she'll wake up from a dream one night and say, I had a vision.
That I kill
You're
my
going to get
dad.
into a car accident. Yeah, and I'm going to have a cat, and I'm going to name that cat Mittens. And I'm going to be happy. Like, what if she sits up from a dead sleep and starts saying stuff like that?
And then I would be very concerned. Very concerned.
I'm in trouble. I am in so much trouble. Well, do we have the poll results? Are we getting close to it?
We do. We do have the YouTube live chat poll results. Today's poll question, do you think that a peace deal will occur between Ukraine and Russia? What are your thoughts on this, Ryan?
I think yes in 2026.
Yes in 2026. Okay, are you ready for these results?
I am.
All right, well,
Let's see.
three of them were pretty close. The only one that a very small amount of people think is going to happen is in the next month. Only 4% vote that this will occur in the next month. 27% of all voters do not believe that a peace deal will occur. 31%.
27%?
27%, yes.
Okay.
31% believe that a peace deal will occur during Trump's term. 37% believe that a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia is going to happen in the year 2026.
Okay, so next year at some point. I don't know if the odds are dropping because of the chances of Russia not signing on to it, considering that for the most part, Ukraine is agreeing to these terms that the United States put together, at least trying to tailor it to a way that they think they can get Russia to play along. But after the delayed tactic that Russia may be playing, saying that his home was bombed, and Ukraine says he's a liar. And there was another clip where Zelensky was on Fox News last night and talking to Brett Baer and was saying, no, I don't think he wants peace. Like, he's talking about Putin directly. President Trump says, yeah, but no, I don't think he does. I think that last 5% or whatever they think they are could be a tough gap to bridge. All right. I'm Ryan Recker. I'll be back in again tomorrow for Annie Fry. If you want to follow me online, at Ryan Recker, Ryan Recker Radio on Facebook. Mark Reardon's coming up. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Stay safe. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Glass of that rock and roll, turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart, so beat the drum.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Ethos.
The best supported study about consuming apple cider vinegar is that it can lower blood glucose. Apple cider vinegar can be beneficial for gut health as it is a fermented product. But a registered dietitian with MD Anderson tells American Heart Association News apple cider vinegar is very acidic and if consumed straight can cause erosion to tooth enamel and damage the esophagus. So